basically today I'm going to be doing a Serpent-Hunter tutorial for Elden Ring 1.08 patch, and I'm going to show how to use Save Organizer and Elden Ring tool and set up save states and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to show like the most efficient route for setup I can show you, and I'm going to show you an alternate way to do the late game that's a lot easier than Serpent-Hunter. So we'll do the whole thing with Serpent-Hunter, and then I'll show you a way to do the ending a little bit easier. Anyway, so we have Save Organizer here. We're going to use that a lot. And then here's Elden Ring tool. I'll put links for Save Organizer and Elden Ring tool in the description. But basically, if you launch the game using Elden Ring tool, you'll have a box pop up here about anti-easy cheat or easy anti-cheat. And if you click yes, it'll launch the game without easy anti-cheat active, which is what we want. And then if the game's not already open, you'll get this like notification, and then it'll like make you pick where the exe is. So you just go through your folders like Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Elden Ring Game, select Elden Ring, and it will launch the game with easy anti-cheat disabled. And then once we're here, this is the Elden Ring tool. You have all kinds of stuff you can do here. Hitboxes, like I'll turn on no death now, just so we don't have to worry about that. 1 HP RTSR, I may use that at some point, but like right now I'm just gonna leave that off. You can do no death enemies, you can do max HP, you can keep yourself rune arced permanently, infinite stamina, infinite FP. There's like a lot of stuff you can do here. In-game poise view is really nice. You can spawn items, and then you can instant kill the boss. You can set the boss's health. You can have hotkeys for all this stuff. For game saves, okay, yeah, that's another thing. I could show you guys how to like set up Save Organizer, but it's fairly straightforward. Like just hit Edit Profiles, and then like go to Elden Ring, and then you just like location of save file. Like you just find your save file. Like you can Google it, and then it'll ask you like where you want to set, where do you want these additional saves to be stored. You could like pick a folder for that, or I just always put them in the same folder as the regular save file. But it's totally up to you, and then you can have different profiles.
Deepest gratitude.
Hey Booze, thank you for the resub.
I, Siegfried of Katarina, salute you.
But anyway, Save Organizer is fairly easy to set up. Right now I have one called Current. I just imported what I have right now, like before I started this run, just so I have like one at the beginning. I usually do that just so I have like a save to like fall back on. But we'll get into it. I'll show that more as we go. But we're on 108. This is current patch. I'm pretty sure Serpent-Hunter strats will mainly stay the same. I don't think it's going to get nerfed or buffed, really. The Starfist could, and that's the alternate weapon we're going to try at the end. But we'll see. So let's get into it. We're going to start Samurai. Generally, people start Samurai for any percent normally with any sort of meta. Just name them any percent Hitless, I guess. And then for keepsake, I'm gonna do cracked pots. If you don't want to do red feather branch sword, you could do like the Lands Between rune. But I would say like just do the crack pots. So Samurai crack pots. Make your character look however you want. Name it whatever you want. How's it going, Booze, by the way? Oh, I should not have no death on yet, by the way. I'll show you why. If you have no death on for this beginning, you don't die. I just turned it off really quick. Alright, so we're just gonna grab this finger over here. I usually just like unequip everything I don't need on this door. I'm not gonna show fighting Grafted Scion because that's really not required, and like you could do it to get some extra runes. It's not too bad, especially with Samurai, but this is gonna be a long video, so. And it's really, really, really unnecessary with this routing. Like, we do not need runes, really. We get plenty. So this is the one time under Team Hitless rules where a death is not considered a hit because you have to die. No matter, even if you fight him or not, you have to die. So that's like your one free death, because normally a fall death is a hit. I usually put my blue flask in my pouch. I see a lot of runners, they keep all their stuff in the down slot, like their physic and their mana, and then I see like speedrunners generally put it in the pouch. I don't know, like it's probably just a preference thing. I don't think it really matters. It's kind of up to you. I do like torrent, mana, and physic in the pouch personally, along with the memory of grace. So the first thing we're gonna do is go up to the church here. Apparently if you hold a block and sprint jump, it's faster, but I don't really normally do that. So pick up this smithing stone 1. We don't need to buy anything from him yet. We're going to come back at a very specific time to get what we need from him once we have runes. And it'll also, Ronnie will be here, so it'll change it to night, which it lets us keep it nighttime without having to sit and talk to Melina. So we just kind of run up the left side of this road. We're aiming for this guy up here. And I usually just kill this guy. You don't have to, but why risk it? And then I'm gonna grab right up here by this other guy. There's this root resin. We only need 1, but I'm just gonna grab 2. I do a really, really, really easy script for Godskin Noble using bleed grease, and it's such a free pickup, like in your path, that I highly recommend just doing the easiest possible kill on Noble you can, because that guy will absolutely meme you in so many different ways. It's so aggravating. Alright, so we're going to gate front. I'm just going to sit down here.
Have you heard of they serve, but you? I can play turning root to aid you. You need only to the foot of the... Then it said summon me.
Especially while blocking sense, that's a good point.
It will summon torrent. Treat him with respect.
Alright, let's see. Alright, we're done with her. So then, this is where I would put torrent in my pouch. And then you literally just kind of like sprint through here on torrent. You don't have to hit that guy. I just do it because he's a snitch. So, kind of like the principle of the matter. Golden seeds aren't super important. I always grab that one because it's right in the way. And then I come over here and grab these 3 smithing stone 1s. Now we have 4 because we picked up 1 at the Church of Ella. And we're going to use... I'm going to use 12 for the Uchi. And then we need this stone sword key as well. And then this is Stormhill Shat Grace. We're going to take that. And then we're going to head northeast towards that giant in the distance. And behind this giant, near the cliff edge, is the Strength Knot tier. We need that as well. And you can drop down onto a platform here. Now I just jump off like straight northeast basically. And run, I don't know, kind of straight across this forest towards this structure. And we're gonna try to get in behind this guy on the horse up here. And then 2 unsheath, like L2, R2 unsheath. And then just riposte him while he's on the ground. And then Ash of War, Golden Vow. So, I'm going to show the Lance strat for Rykard, but I'm pretty sure it's going to get voted on sometime soon for Team Hitless, and it may get banned, but I'll show it both ways. I'll show it with and without. And then I'm going to pick up this Exalted Flesh. Get the bow out. So we're going to be following Team Hitless rules as of what they are right now, but I'm going to warn you guys that I think in the future they're going to ban crouch pokes for Rykard. It's going to be a community vote, so maybe not. It's tough to say what people will vote for, but I'll explain it once we get there. Alright, so we do 1 unsheath, an R1, and a charged R2. That pops him out. Make sure you kill that dragonfly, by the way. He can hit you. Alright, and then we go behind him. 3 R1s. Wait for his health bar, and then 3 unsheaths. And you should have just enough mana to do all 3 if you've only done 2 on the Golden Vow Knight. And then we get the Warrior Jar Shard. We don't use that a ton on this run, but part of the reason that I kill him is because I don't like him. But also we have like 1800 runes now, which is like enough to buy what we need from this merchant up here. So here's 2 more number 1s. That gives us a total of 6.
Are you here as a customer?
And so here I buy 3 more. That gives us a total of 9. 1 more crackpot and the short sword, which I'll put the Golden Vow Ash of War on. You can put it on like any spare weapon you have. But that's like the cheapest one. Like the ones at round table cost more. And we have like just enough runes to get all that stuff, which is nice. This is essentially Opai's route, by the way, for setup at least, and a lot of the strats are stuff I learned from Opai. And then if we do the Starfist at the end, it'll basically be what Doom did for All Remembrances. You can just walk off here. There's other ways to drop down. Like, figure out a way that's consistent and do it the same way every time. There's a Golden Rune 6. Ever's Cookbook, that's the sleep cookbook, we need that. There's a 4 over there, I think a 2 right here, and maybe another 4. Yeah, I just grabbed those ones. We just need a little spending money for the Beast Torch. And then we kind of just are going straight over here to this, the Third Church of America up here. I've had these dragonflies aggro to me and like follow me inside the church before, so I usually just keep an eye out for that. But I think it might have been daytime when that happened. Looks like we're okay. And here's the physic. We're gonna come back here later. We're just gonna go out the back side of the church, like to the north side. And take the Spirit Springs up to Kaled. Here's a lily for sleep pots. If you do this just right, you can skip the 3rd one. Hey Pimp, how you doing? Enjoy your meeting. Oh yeah, I usually put the physic in the pouch also once I get it. Okay, so I'm actually gonna grab this Grace up here because I'm gonna use it as like a teleport spot. Alright, so I'm gonna head over here to the south. Just jump over this way. Just kind of head straight south for the most part. Don't get too close to that dog over there. Just kind of follow this cliff line right here. And this is something actually you could put off doing until after Godrick if you want, but I'm just going to try to show all of setup in one part of the video. That way we don't have like setup split up. But you can't. We're going to pick up Flame Grant Me Strength up here, and I'm not going to use it until after Godrick. You could if you pick up the Faith Talisman and level Faith a little earlier, but with this setup you really don't need it. I'm just going to grab it now just to get it over with. So to come around this castle, you need to make sure you take a big enough loop around that knight, or he can see you. And it needs to be nighttime, or else he can see you. That's important too. That's why I do it early, because it's just like already nighttime, and this is like, it's like guaranteed to be night if you do it at this point in the setup. So we're just gonna grab Flame Grant Strength and then warp back to Rot View. Now we're gonna head east-ish. Kind of along this ridge. And then I kind of use that grace as like a, I don't know, a marker. Oh. Nice frame lag game. There's another thing we can try to do, like, there's a stutter fix on the tool. We can try and see if that helps. I'll show off some more of the stuff the tool can do when we actually like start doing some boss fights. Alright, so we're just gonna jump across to this Dragon Barrow side of Caelid and come up here, come around this tree, and we're kind of heading for that Erd tree up ahead, essentially, but you need to look out for like the dogs on either side. Like that one just turned around, so I can kind of just come up here, but the idea is to just stay on the left side of this ridge, like just left of the hump. There's one on the left down there, and then there's one on the right, but if you're on like kind of this side of the ridge, the ones on the right really can't see you. Hey Keo, how you doing, dude?
How can I help?
So from this merchant, all we need to... I'm actually going to sell my runes first. And then we're going to buy the Beast Torch.
Have a safe journey.
Let me equip my shit, thank you. And I'm going to equip it now. And then... I kind of just ride towards the tower, but I just keep my eye out for the dogs. Like, you don't want them chasing you, so just keep an eye out for them. You could grab the Grace down there that we passed and then warp back, but it's up to you. Just waiting for coffee to wake me up. Feels pretty good, dude. That was a pretty insane game. Hey, Linz. Oh, yeah, daily giveaway, of course. Oh, yeah, today's the $20 one, guys. You should definitely enter that. Alright, and then we're going for this scarab right here. We're going to try to push him off to the north. Now I want to get him into like this ridge over here. This ridge right there. Yeah, we want him to go through there. And then if you do an R1 unsheath, it should knock him off. That gives us the Somber 8. And then, alright, so for here, it's going to be kind of hard to see with the wind and the rain. But I basically just come into this corner and then just do like a 180 and then jump into like this nook right here, like this little nook, and then just run down a little ways and drop off, and you won't like die or kill Torrent. If Torrent dies and you survive, that's not a hit, by the way. But anyway, we're picking up the Somber 9 and a Rune Arc. How was your day going, Linz? And now we're heading southeast-ish towards Fort Ferrith, where like Grail is and stuff. I am gonna grab one thing here that you guys don't need to grab if you're planning on doing only Serpent-Hunter, but I'm gonna grab a few extra things along the way for like an optional late game that I'm gonna show as well, using the Starfist. Because it just makes the last few fights much easier. I'm gonna grab this Grace too, because we're gonna come back here later, no matter what. And then I usually equip my armor for Fort Ferrith, just so I can't get poisoned. And then just hit the wall right here. And then we're gonna crouch run through here. We're gonna hug like the left side when we enter. Go around this pillar. And then just kind of work our way towards the ladder. And then let's get on the ladder, like, so that one on the right shot poison at us. If two of them were to shoot at us and we don't have armor on, we could get procced by poison, and that counts as a hit. So I usually keep the armor on because even if two of them shoot at you, you'll be fine. Come on. And then we're getting the first half of the Dectus Medallion here. Maybe I'll pull out my torch so you guys can see this better. We're gonna drop down in the second hole. If you have the beast torch out, the rats won't like hit you, at least not quickly. We're gonna jump across this gap and down the hole. And then once I'm down, I start sneaking so I can lose any aggro that might happen, and then I usually just equip the Source Seal now. And then that usually gives me enough time to warp back. Normally here we would warp to Third Church of America, but I'm gonna warp outside really quick and grab something that I really only need for the alternate weapon I'm gonna show later on. And this is also really unnecessary, but it's right here, and it's like a free pickup, and it just saves you some runes. Like maybe like, I don't know, 12k or something total. Like nothing crazy, but there's some regular smithing stones up here and a stone sword key. We need one of them. All right, now we're gonna go to Third Church of America. And then we're gonna head south. Towards the Erd Tree, basically. Does anybody have any song requests they'd like to hear today? Dalton had a ton of stuff in the playlist, but apparently I played all of it already. From last stream, anyway. I'm heading towards this structure over here. It's just like a nice little landmark to like run past. And we need to pick up like 7 of these sunflowers. If you just spam triangle through here, you should pick up enough. And we want this spiked cracked tier as well. And then we're gonna head like west. Okay, so this little fort right here, you gotta be careful not to grab too many lilies around the bear or he'll wake up. But we're gonna grab these first 2. And then go down in the basement. And then the Axe Talisman. And then one more lily on our way out. There's 5 total. If you only grab 3, he won't wake up. Hey Robin Hood, how you doing? And then we're gonna buy our last. Well, for upgrading the Uchi, we're buying 3 more smithing stone ones from this guy. And that's enough to get our Uchi upgraded, and that's pretty much all we need from him. And then we're heading to Fourth Ferrith now. We don't need to grab the Grace over here unless you were like doing all remembrances or something. And we're gonna jump up these rocks. I had a fantastic weekend, Linz. How about you? And then, all right, so this jump right here, we're aiming for the right side of that like corner, and we need to double jump really fast to get up there. I jumped too early that time, but basically we want to go like really fast, and it'll pop us kind of up on top. And then I want the bow in my right hand actually here, so basically I want the bow out with the torch on my back. That way it's like active. If it's on your back, it's like still working. So we're gonna do a weapon art R1. Like a mighty shot on both these guys. We need to grab one of these blood roses. And then I'm gonna go up here and kill this third guy. And then weapon art this guy. And then I'm gonna just free aim a fire arrow at this guy. Whoops. There we go. Don't spend too much time here, the rats will fight you, but... That gives us the cookbook to make bleed grease. Nice, Linz. Alright, so I'm sneaking up here, right? I'm just gonna shoot an arrow at this wood pile. And then immediately start sprouch running forward and get out my Uchi. And then I'm just gonna sneak around behind him. And then there's a script for this guy with a +0 Uchi. It's a charged R2, a heavy unsheath, a riposte, and then a tap R2. He's not quite dead yet, so we want to do a tap R2. I'm literally just tapping R2 until he swings. And then it's like perfect timing for when he stands up, basically. That is a part I would recommend practicing a few times. Like, maybe make a save file before there. It is pretty early in the run, but you can definitely, like, mess that up. Okay, so now we have both Dectus Medallion halves, and it's basically dawn right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to warp to Church of Ella to change it to nighttime again. Like, Ronnie will be there, and it'll automatically change it to nighttime, so we don't have to sit and talk to Melina. And then we're going to just punch her 3 times. And then she goes away. And now we can buy stuff from this guy.
And I can also that you're not up. Then why not? I am Carlin.
I'm gonna sell him what I've got, and we're gonna purchase. I'm gonna purchase like 20 throwing daggers, 3 cracked pots, the crafting kit, and then Missionary Cookbook 1. This lets you craft holy pots. That's all we need. And now I'm gonna warp to Stormhill Shack. Yesterday was a holiday. Like you had the day off? Like President's Day or whatever? Okay, so we're kind of riding northwest up through here, like under this bridge, essentially. I'm gonna equip the bow back. Whoops. There's a lot of mushrooms through here. I generally try to grab them while I'm through here, just so I make sure I have enough for the holy pots that we're gonna use here in a little while. And then, you know, there's the skip here, of course, but it's kind of risky. I usually just take the bridge. Because we are like... We're 22 minutes in right now. Like, if you died to that skip, then there goes just like 20 minutes for no reason. Some people are really good at it and they can like consistently hit it, but I'm not that person. Alright, so I almost always have the Beast Torch out on my back when I'm running around, especially during setup. So like stuff like these wolves, you just don't really have to worry about. And okay, so here, if you're only doing Serpent-Hunter, you can like drop down these platforms and just head that way to get to the teleporter. I'm going to show just like a really safe way to get to this merchant. And this is like buying the stuff from this merchant you do not need to do if you're only doing Serpent-Hunter. If you did it, you could upgrade the Uchi even more, so that you could get an even easier Godskin Noble kill. but I'm just gonna buy stuff from him that we're gonna use later, just while I'm here, so I don't have to come back. And I think when if you're like, if this is gonna be your first no-hit run, or it's your first time running Elden Ring, if you see the late game with the Starfist, it might be really intriguing, and it doesn't add that much time or anything.
Surprised no matter. Why don't you? Oh, but don't.
Alright, so I'm gonna buy all the smithing 1s and all the smithing 2s. Come on. And I'm just gonna head east and cross the lake. Basically, I'm gonna end up where I would have ended up if I dropped down before. There's some more sunflowers here if you didn't grab enough before. Always be on the lookout for mushrooms. And then basically we would end up like right here if we had come from the drop down platforms. Like we'd come from like where those enemies are right there. And so I just come to like the side of this building and kind of head like straight through here to get to the teleporter. Okay, so you want to make sure you grab this Grace because it's kind of our base of operations for Liurnia. And we're gonna head down the ramp and go left. Now it's important to like jump this railing clean, like you don't want to land on top of it. The easiest way is to run up against it and then jump over. And then just try to like jump into this tree basically. And then head like southeast. We could pick up 3 smithing stone 2s over here, but I have another set of 3 that they're kind of less risky, so I'm not even going to show that, but here's a golden seed I usually grab. And then I head for the crack in this broken bridge right here. And then I head towards this structure. I like to just use landmarks to get through areas generally. And this structure has 2 lilies on the corner. Make sure you don't go too far left because there are lobsters. And then there's a tree near Boil Prawn up here that has 3 more lilies. Alright, and so this, you don't, if you're only doing Serpent-Hunter, you don't need to grab these smithing stones over here, but I'm gonna grab them now just while we're here. We're basically going to route in enough smithing stone 1s that we can upgrade the Uchi for Godskin Noble, and then we can also upgrade Starfist later without having to go get the bell bearing. And it doesn't really add that much time, I wouldn't say, like a few minutes, maybe. Alright, so now we're going to craft holy pots and equip them. I usually have kukris on already. And we're heading south to this, or like southeast to this structure, basically. And we're just gonna get up on top of it. I'm just gonna, actually we can use the bow too. I usually free aim these, but the bow helps you aim as well. We're just gonna wait, he can jump up at you, so you gotta make sure he doesn't jump up at you. And then once he stops moving, we can just start chucking pots at him. And you can even drop down lower here to like throw the pots. Like you can aim with the bow if you want, or you can just try to like free aim it. That was an overshoot. So you can miss one and still kill him. It's really not that bad. You might make a save state there if you want to practice it more, but you'll be doing setup enough. It's like, as long as you wait for him to stop moving and you keep the pots coming, like it kind of like sort of stun locks him. If you pause too long between throws, he can move again, and then you have to like wait for him to stop.
Hello. Hello.
Make sure you don't hit her, or else you have to listen to her talk for 5 minutes about you striking her.
If you've
Like even if you jump near her.
to bless the thug, please.
And then, yeah, so we're done with Deathbird, so we can split there. Saturday, Monday went well. Got to visit some friends. Sunday was a bit chaotic. Oh, was it chaotic awesome? Alright, we're warping back to Boylepron. And we're gonna give the necklace.
Show me, and I'll consider I'm not in love. You're a first.
Or buy the necklace, rather. Sorry. Let me use my horse, please. Thank you. We can craft sleep pots now. And I can even craft, lead grease. And we gotta go back to Raya now. It was unfortunately not chaotic awesome. That's a shame. I'm really exhausted, so my nap. Ah. Okay. So we're gonna talk to her one more time. She's gonna give us the invitation to Volcano Manor. Basically, she gives us a free ride to Volcano Manor.
Please. Brave tarnish. Most time you on the volcano.
All right, so there's one more thing we need to grab. I'm gonna grab two things though. One of them's optional. I really recommend it though, and I'll explain it as we go. But basically, if you're not gonna grab the second thing, you could come over here and grab this like on one of your trips to Raya. It doesn't really matter. But we're coming over to the Forg Island here and grab the Dex tier. Then I'm gonna go southeast from here, and I'm gonna grab something called Vow of the Indomitable. It's an Ash of War for my shield, and it lets us survive a really hard to attack, or hard to dodge attack from Rykard. And I'll show you guys how to do that. Now I'm gonna try to lure this beetle into this stump right here so he stops. And then 2 unsheaths. If you get poisoned here, it's not a hit, by the way. But now we have Vow of the Indomitable. And now we're gonna go back to South Raya Gate. And then we just need one more thing now. We don't need to go to EG before Volcano Manor, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I usually just run into this corner and then jump off. And then we're gonna head to this pavilion. This is another optional pickup right here. This is the Smithing Stone 2s. You only need to do this if you plan on doing the late game Starfist. And then get out of there like kind of as soon as you can. Because... oh, he didn't even aggro that time. A lot of times that flower will aggro and start shooting magic. Oh, he's doing poison apparently. But as long as you ride away like relatively quick, they can't catch up to you. Dang, an ankle injury. There's another blood rose here if you guys need it. I just ride up this pillar and jump over to this one. Then jump down to the Burger King guy here. Grab the glintstone key. Grab the kukris and then just warp back to the Grace as soon as you can. The kukris are like really important, I would say. And I'm gonna go grab EG now just to get it over with. But normally you could wait until after you grab Serpent-Hunter. You could just like warp back here and then go get him. It's just like kind of time save. Like if you go ahead and grab him early and then die to like Godskin Noble or anywhere in Volcano Manor, like you can just kind of prevent that, right? Or prevent that, like you can just save some time essentially if you were to push this part back until after Godskin Noble. But we'll do it now just so all of the setup is kind of in one section. All right, so we have 17 smithing 1s and 9 smithing 2s. We need a total of 24 smithing 1s and 12 smithing 2s, and the rest of them are in Stormveil, so we're pretty set up now. Yeah, you don't really have to worry about these wolves if you have the Beast Torch on. I'm gonna jump over here near EG and just grab this Grace. We'll come back here later. You could take this way to get to Volcano, or to get to the lift. The lift's like that building over there. But I would say that like we really don't need to, right? Like, we went and picked up the kukris and the key. I personally just like to go through the gate here just to get to the lift. For all remembrances, I went the other way, but that's because I wanted to grab the Manor Graces. But the arrow rain like destroys your frames anyway, so I'll just go this way. And we've got like 10 kukris now by going through this way. Like, if you go get the Academy key, you pick up like 6 more kukris. Really useful. Anyway, we're just kind of heading north here. There's a knight on the left on a horse, but you don't really go near him. Kind of like hug the left side of this structure. Are all of you guys in the giveaway, by the way? Today's the $20 gift card. And just for reference, like, $20 HR key gift card, HR key wallet gift card. Like, Returnal just got released on PC. It's $42. So you can basically, if you win that, you can get Returnal like half off, basically. Alright, just kind of parkour up this. You want to kind of stay on the left side when you're coming up here. These catapults will shoot at you. You don't need that smoldering butterfly. Just a habit. Anyway. I do have notes for this. I should probably like make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Alright, so we're just going to take the lift up. And then Riot will be here. We don't want to talk to her just yet, because we want to have a grace up here that we can warp back to later. So this is just called the Altus Plateau Grace. I'm going to grab that and then talk to Riot.
I knew you. I hereby take my hand. Give me your... I will pray.
Now we're going to Volcano Manor. And we've yet to talk to Melina, which is good. Just put that off till the end until we actually need to go to Round Table. Grab the grace here. We need to warp back here later.
Brave. I am Tan Ryas, but a warrior, perhaps. Will you join? Rise with us. Interest. Now you belong. The drawing room, but be sure.
Alright, now we have the drawing room key. Gonna go to the first door on the right here. Through this illusionary wall. Pull out my torch so you guys can see, but it's running down through this dungeon. Don't go too far left in this room. There's a Bloodhound Knight there. I'll probably kill him later. There's one area for any percent that you might want to use Bloodhound Step for, so I'll show it. Like, it's really not necessary, but we can get like a free kill on him later if we want. Now we can sit here.
Figure to determine if you had them. It seems torrent, whereas there is, but I can take gathering place. Very well. Let my hand rest.
When I checked the in-game time before going to Volcano Manor, we were like 35 minutes. So that was a fairly quick setup, even with grabbing the extra smithing stone stuff. Okay, so now we don't need to buy anything yet. We just need to level up to 20 strength. And we're gonna do our flasks. Three and 3 is fine. And then we're gonna mix the physic. And we might as well put on Flame Grant Strength. We don't need it yet, but what's the other thing we do? Upgrade and put Golden Vow on. Alright, so I'm gonna change some stuff around here. Just put that here. Bow. I guess I want the bow still. Okay. We don't need the torch though.
You're a youth, no matter. Lay out your arms.
Alright, so make sure you upgrade Uchi. Only to +3, by the way. Like, don't accidentally do too much. I'm gonna save those other ones. So Uchi +3, and then Ash of War, Golden Vow on the short sword. And then we want to put Vow of the Indomitable on the shield. Alright, now we're going to warp back to Prison Town Church. This may be another good place to like set up a save state. I guess it's not super important though. If you die, it's not like a big deal. I'm just going to drop down onto these roofs over here. And then this jump is actually kind of tricky. Like, make sure you're sprinting and blocking, and then if you do an attack right before you drop, it like widens your hitbox so you can get like a better landing. And then here's the this would be your second Storm Sword key, because you probably wouldn't pick up that other one I picked up near Fort Ferrith if you're only doing Serpent-Hunter. But the idea here is you want to make sure you have your Crimson Flasks out, and we're gonna like backstep across here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And once we're like just below half health, heal. And then we want to basically be like one shot away from dying. Then we're gonna jump up on this roof, hopefully. There's our smithing, or Somber 6. Make sure that guy's not following you. We're okay now, but if you get too close to him, he can follow you. And if you have to wait for this snake to path, then, you know, he might hit you. Alright, so here I'm gonna switch to Red Feather and pull out the bow and the kukris. So you can see our Red Feather is set up properly. It's got like it's basically a free setup without having to put Bloody Slash on anything yet. We don't want to put Bloody Slash on the Uchi because we need the Uchi right now. Whoops. Anyway, we're gonna throw a kukri at that thing. Then I'm actually going to... So I'm gonna set up a save state here. So kind of the easiest way is to just drop like something you don't need. So if I just drop that, I can come down to my save organizer and hit import save state. And then this is how I would name them. Like, I do like 01 like Noble or something. And then if we die, we can just reload that save state or something. So anyway, I might show this fight a couple times. Like, this is very important to know. Like, this is a big reset area. Volcano Manor in a whole is a really big reset area. Oops, I accidentally split already. There we go, Godskin Noble. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing like the most brain dead script that I've ever like used on this guy. We have a +3 Uchi, and we're gonna be using Bleed Grease, and we have our sleep pots made. Our physic has the strength knot and the dex knot tier in it. But I'll show it once and then maybe we'll do it another time. But basically I'm gonna walk up to the third set of pews, like in line with the third set of pews, just aiming straight forward. And then I'm gonna aim my head at like the top of this chandelier and throw a sleep pot and immediately run forward. I want to try to bait him to do a melee attack, actually. This is okay. Drink the Physic. Golden Vow. Drink mana. Two-hand your Uchi. Apply the Grease. And then I'm gonna do 4 R1s in his back. And then immediately throw a sleep pot. I want to be behind him here. Dodge the tail attack if he does it. Oops. He's being a dick. This is actually good because he's on the stairs. We might not be able to get a riposte. We'll see how this goes. Okay, we got the riposte, so we're okay. Another sleep pot is going to phase transition. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then unsheath. It stuns him, bleeds him, and kills him. So if you don't quite have enough damage, he'll still be stunned there, and you can just kill him anyway. So that was a little bit scuffed, because if he's on the stairs like that, you might not get the riposte, and that can be problematic. If I didn't get the riposte there, he would still phase transition, so I could sleep him again, but then I'd have to come up with some extra damage at the end. I'd probably have to riposte him again at the end, and I'll show it one more time. That's the easiest script I've ever, like, used on him before, and even then, like, if he's on the stairs like that, it can go wrong. Luckily, it still let us riposte him, so... So we're gonna go up to the third set of pews, just past this paper. Aim your head at the top of the chandelier. Throw the sleep and run forward immediately. Now we're gonna Physic first. Golden Vow. Don't forget to drink mana, because that's important for throwing sleep pots. Bleed Grease. You want to always be behind him here, otherwise he can do like the Ring of Fire. This is perfect. Start hitting him on his way down. And I try to be beside him so I don't accidentally riposte. 4, pause 4, heavy unsheath. 1 riposte is all we need. And just back away and throw a sleep pot immediately. And hit him on his way down. Preferably in this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then... So basically it's 4 hits, like from behind, sleep him again, dodge his 1 tail swipe, which he almost always does. And then you want to do 4, pause 4. And then an unsheath the stun, a riposte. And then he'll be phase transition, throw the pot again. And on that unsheath that stuns him before phase transition, it's important to do that before it's too late, or he'll be phase transitioned like as soon as he stands up. And then after the riposte, he can just start rolling right away. So this is like the easiest script I've ever like used, basically. So I'm trying to think if like ideally when you throw the first sleep pot, if you run forward, sometimes you can get him to melee at you and you can just dodge it, and then that puts him like, I don't know, right around here when he's sleeping, and then you have a lot of space. Like he's just really far away from the stairs, and you don't really have to worry about the stair meme. But anyway, I'm gonna put back on the Source Seal here and sit down at the Grace. And we're gonna level to 26 strength. We're gonna save the rest for upgrading the Serpent-Hunter. This should be okay. Alright, so we're gonna go up this elevator here. And now this is a very tricky area, I would say. I've gotten hit here many times for a bunch of different reasons. I've tried to like dumb it down as much as I can to like make it super consistent, but I think the Volcano Manor is just kind of a meme for no-hit running. Just gonna jump up here as quick as I can, regen some stamina. Gonna jump across here. Jump across here. Now this part is kind of tricky. Basically, I want to walk up to this wall right in front of me, like near, like right where that corner is, and I want to throw a kukri down there. And I have to be kind of quick about it because there's a maiden that's going to come, and if I don't do it fast enough, it's going to see me. So we're just going to throw a kukri like right when we're up here, and then get back behind the wall. Just make sure the maiden's like going for the kukri. Then we're gonna come open this door with the bow still out. We're gonna throw a kukri right here now. Just be careful for this snake. I just kind of jump behind him. And then just start sneaking before you go in here, because sometimes this Muppet is not facing like the wall, he's facing you, and he can like aggro to you immediately. We're just gonna kill the Muppet and send down the elevator. Now, the next thing we're looking for is this snake who's pathing right in front of us. So basically this is good pathing. We want him to be like even with those two guys up there before we like go forward. We don't want him to chase us, so we could throw a kukri, but I'm gonna conserve them for now. Like I want to save them. So now he's about even with those two guys. I can just run over here. I'm gonna jump over here behind this guy, jump over to this platform, jump over near this guy, and just stay to the right here. Just be careful not to get inside of his radius. And then open this door. You can like peek behind to make sure the guy's not chasing you, but if you do the timing right, you'll be fine. And then in here, there's the guy on the right up there. We want to be careful about him. Like if he's too far left, you would want to run up the right stairs behind him instead of like these stairs. Just don't want him chasing you either, basically. And now this stone sword key door takes 2. So the one at Stormhill Shack and the one we picked up here are the 2 we would use. I'm gonna get the bow out here. So you can just like walk off onto the second cage. I'm gonna throw a kukri behind this wizard right here. Then we can just literally walk off under the beam. I just take my time here, try to like not fuck it up. Okay, so normally, if you're only doing Serpent-Hunter, we're gonna go that way down here to the southwest. I'm gonna pick up something over here that we're gonna use on the Starfist to the northeast. Either way, you want to drop down like onto this cage down there. And that guy's going to chase us. So I'm going to grab this. It's called Royal Knight's Resolve. It's an Astral Warp that I'm going to put on the Starfist. I just jump them personally. You can kind of do whatever. I've been grabbed by those guys before. Jumping over them seems to be like pretty like consistent. You can try to avoid them, or you can even throw a kukri if you want. And then we're gonna grab this Somber 7 right here, and then just drop off and run down here as fast as we can. So usually once we're in here, we've like lost aggro and we can like warp back to the temple. So that's like the first leg of Volcano Manor post Noble. So as long as you didn't forget to send down the elevator after you killed the Muppet, we have this elevator out here to the left. And then I just crouched before I leave the elevator, basically. Like while I'm on the elevator, I just crouch. And then you can see the snake pathing up ahead. It's going to be a pretty good cycle. And then I just kill this guy again, just to be safe. And then, yeah, the snake's kind of in the same pathing as before, so this is going to be like kind of a rinse and repeat situation. If you're impatient, you could kukri him, but I like to save mine. Get the bow out again. And I just come into this room and come to the left side here, right about here or so. And I could throw 2 kukris here if I want, but I'm just gonna wait and get all of these guys with 1. So that guy who's pathing around, I just aim for this little pillar right here. And as soon as he's like close to it, I'll throw. And then they all 3 get distracted. We just have to make sure you don't get too close to him. And that's just like fairly safe that way. And then make sure you grab this grace here. This is the audience pathway grace. Otherwise, you'd have to run through there a third time. Just try to get in the habit of grabbing that grace right away. And now we have Serpent-Hunter. And so now, since we already have EG, if you didn't have EG yet, you could go to the South Right Lucaria Gate and then go get EG. Like, or since we already have them, we can just go straight to Road to the Manor. Let's see, what am I going to show first? I think we're going to show...
Well, I presume.
Come on, let me talk.
I am an old codger, so here I am, perhaps.
Okay, so we need to buy Somber 1, Somber 2, Somber 3, Somber 4, and then upgrade Serpent-Hunter to +9. Don't need the Uchi anymore. And back to audience pathway. Okay, so Rykard, this is going to be like the first, like, I would say really tricky fight. So we want to make sure we have plenty of... Oh, I didn't grab enough mushrooms. Alright, we'll grab some more mushrooms, I guess. Yeah, so important to grab mushrooms. This is like a good learning, a good teaching point here. Like, really be on your mushroom game. I really only need 4, but I'll grab a few extra just to have some extras. I might have just gotten unlucky with my pickups. Like that one we just got a double drop. There we go, that's plenty. We only need 4 sleep pots for Rykard. And we can grab more mushrooms later, but now we have plenty. So I'm going to show you guys, the first thing I'm going to show you is how to dodge his earthquake attack using Vow. I think that's like really important. So we're not even going to like fight him properly this first like run in here. I'm going to make a save state and then we're going to, I'll show you how Vow works basically. So here we go. Here's my save organizer, import save state. Now we have our Rykard save state set up. Yeah, so this first run, I'm only going to show you how to dodge Vow. And basically how it works is I'm going to be locked onto him. And when he does Earthquake, his head's going to dip below the ground. It's going to come up and pause. And then it's going to shoot up. And I'm watching the lock-on indicator that whole time because he's going to like do it. The indicator is going to dip down. It's going to come back up and hover. And as soon as it starts to go up, that's when I L2 with Vow to give me iframes for the Earthquake, basically. So I'm going to try to show that because I think it's really nice to have just in case he does Earthquake. Maybe I need to get a little bit further away. That was an early roll. Here we go. Here comes Earthquake. Watch the indicator. Up, pause. And then as soon as it shoots up, you parry it. So we staggered him. This is just like normal shield poking methods here. This might be a good way to kind of show the fight a little bit. Because when we do the real strat, it's going to be a lot more safe. Roll that one. You can rolling R1. You can jump attack that one. He's going to stab the... Oh, he's doing another swipe. Oh, I got hit. I thought he was going to stagger there for some reason. We normally have more damage than this. I didn't even take my physic. Kind of an idol. So, I mean, you got to kind of learn his melee attacks in phase 2. Like how to punish them. That was like a little brief showcase, but I'm going to show you. So I showed you how to parry with Val. That's like really important. A lot of times he won't do Earthquake unless he does Poison first. But essentially just watch the lock-on indicator. Let me reload this save really quick. Watch the lock-on indicator. It's going to dip down, it's going to come up and stop, and then it's going to shoot up. And just do your Val like right when it shoots up. And that's like kind of the whole gist of it. So now I'll show you the fight like kind of properly. I'll even count a hit here, why not? So I run up to this like kind of smooth looking like lava, and you can kind of see these lines on the ground. I kind of like stand in this one right here, like this like kind of thumb. And then that like pile of like skulls right there is another thing. I want to stand near that for phase 2. And I'll explain it kind of as I go, but essentially come up to this thing, drink your physic, Golden Vow. We're gonna drink mana. Gonna get out the shield and the Serpent-Hunter, and we're gonna throw 2 sleep pots. And I want to like jump R2 as soon as I can, basically. Oh, and I was too early there, or I wasn't close enough. That was a good Val showcase. I want to be near these skulls, basically. Two on my Serpent-Hunter. Ooh, I forgot one thing we can do on this fight, too. Alright, so same thing here. I want to get a quick jump attack. That way he sleeps afterward. I only do 4 shield pokes here. Alright, so if he does this move, you want to L2 as soon as you can. If he does that, if he lowers his head like that, you want to L2 immediately, or else you can get the Flaming Skull attack in. So that was actually kind of bad. I'm gonna do it one more time. I mean, that was okay. Like, we didn't get hit, but that would like not be great RNG, in my opinion. Also, I forgot that we can use an Exalted Flesh for phase 2, which helps a lot. So let me do it one more time with Exalted Flesh. Okay, so, and this is like the shield poke way. Like, this is not the easiest way even, so I'm gonna show you guys the crouch poke way, but I have a feeling it may be banned by Team Hitless soon, so. Alright, so there's like our little like lineup. Drink the physic, Golden Vow, mana, get out both of these. I'll hopefully not miss the jump attack this time. You have a little bit more time in phase 1. There we go. See, that damage is insane. And we want to wait for him to actually go to sleep here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Poison, run backwards and jump. And then watch out for the hitbox on this poison. It's actually bigger than it looks. Eat our Exalted Flesh. Two-hand the Serpent-Hunter. Wait for his head to hit, then throw your sleep pots. You have to be quick here, or else he'll not go to sleep. And I only do 4 on phase 2 because he can input read me. This is actually really good RNG. So now we got the stagger. a double there. When he does the snake bites, you gotta be careful about when to punish. Like, I paused after the first one to see if the second one came, and then it came, and I did a rolling R1 on the second, but then he did a third there. So if I didn't kill him on the third, then I probably get hit right there. So it's really good to learn his moveset. So hopefully that's like a bit of a showcase there. So on some of his attacks too, like you can do like a rolling R1, but if you're too close, he can cancel out of like normally. So he'll do like a big like backhand swipe, and then he'll do the one where he like slams his sword into the ground and then drags it across the ground that you can jump over. But sometimes when you think it's that one, if you're too close and you do like the rolling R1 on the first swipe, he'll just cancel out of that and do a snake bite attack. So your spacing is like really, really, really important on Rykard. I would say generally speaking, you want to be about as far away as you can for like your attacks to still hit. Because a lot of times he'll do like these like ground stabs too. He hasn't shown us the ground stabs yet, but if you're far enough away, you just when you roll, you just kind of outspace them. And then if it's a triple one, you can jump forward and do a jump R2. Just for like kind of some reference, he has about 100 poise. I think he has 100 poise, and your jump R2s do like, I think 25. So you need 4 of those to stagger him. And then I can't remember how many shield pokes it is. I think it's 8 shield pokes to stagger if you're only doing shield pokes. I don't spend too much time here, but I'm going to show you guys the crouch poke method. Now, this is kind of a controversial strat as far as Team Hitless is concerned, because originally we were under the impression that if you use the lance, it was just so you can get this move set, the crouch poke. But then it's been more recently figured out that the lance actually deals damage when you do this, so it's considered like a minor glitch. And then the old controversy was that if you put RKR on the lance and did the weapon art, then you could get 80% more damage on the Serpent-Hunter as well. That was considered a move swap glitch, which is not allowed. But as of this video today, the crouch pokes with the lance are allowed, but it will be voted on soon, and it could get banned depending on how the community votes for it. So I will show you the crouch poke Rykard fight just so you guys know. But just be warned that I would recommend just doing the shield pokes just so you don't have to worry about it if you are running this game. So same thing, we're gonna drink our physic, Golden Vow, drink mana, and I'm actually gonna do the same thing here. 2 sleep pots, jump R2. Whoops. Alright, I fucked up the sleep strat. Now let me try it again. I didn't mean to R1 there, I was just trying to switch my weapon. Oh, I gotta switch my stuff around. I've never done crouch pokes on a run, other than when I was running R01 very briefly. I'm not like super great at it. Okay, 2 sleep pots. I mean, that damage is like insane. I forgot this Exalted Flesh, but it's fine. I don't think it matters. What's your follow-up? That's the stabs that we want to avoid. Whipping. Alright, we got the stagger, that's good. You just crouch and then L1 is the idea. So I'm really not great at this strat. I have a feeling it's going to get banned. We're not going to spend too much time on it, but that's the idea. Like you guys saw, and I didn't even take the Exalted Flesh. Had I taken the Exalted Flesh, we would have even more damage there. So anyway, we're going to take the Remembrance. Whoops. So I'm gonna go grab Bloodhound Step. It's a free pickup once you have the +9 Serpent-Hunter. I'll show you guys how to get it. Some of you might want it for other reasons. I only use it. I would only use it maybe one time in any percent. But essentially you want to get like up next to this guy and just do a double charge R2. Totally optional. You don't need to do that at all. But obviously it's like it takes what 10 seconds. But we do want to go back to Volcano Manor itself. And I go to the second door on the left here. We're going to talk to Bernal.
So I harbor even he was with any road, though we may yet we hunted our own and with every.
Okay, so talk to him one time, and then you're actually allowed to quit out here because it's a hub and you're not in combat. So you could warp back to the Grace also, but then you have to run again. So totally your decision. It's totally allowed by Team Hitless to quit out like in a hub, like to progress quests when you're not in combat. Even like Gowry's quests, you're allowed to quit out to progress as long as you bring up your map first to show you're not in combat. Anyway, I'm gonna buy Assassin's Gambit and no skill. And now we're going to go to the Gatefront in Limgrave really quick. Oh, this is the Sonic song. Okay. I was like... And then, as always, if we're out in the world, I generally have the Beast Torch on my back just in case we pass some wolves or something. And there are wolves up here. We're kind of heading northeast. Yeah, here's all these wolves. We're basically heading to this structure that's like stuck in the canyon up here. And then we just want to like drop off into here on like the right side. Sometimes you might take a little damage, but you're not going to die if you do that. And then we're going to ride the horse south down this canyon until we get kicked off a torrent. And then I just walk backwards here. If you despawn him too soon, he can get stuck in your world, and that's like really problematic. But basically just keep walking backwards until it says he's been sent home. And then after the second time it pops up, you can get back on torrent. And then we're going into this cave here. There's a trap here. I usually jump it. It doesn't matter if you ring it or not. Just be kind of quick through here and these guys can't catch up. And then we're just going to grab Patch's Bell Bearing. Patches dies automatically if you kill Rykard. That's why that works that way. So, all right. All right. Now we are going to level 48 strength. And we are going to change the physic to strength not and spiked cracked. So strength not, spike cracked. And then we also want to change it to nighttime. Oops, I backed out one too many. All right, now we need to buy a couple things from the merchant here. We're gonna buy Margit's shackle and the dagger and the seal.
Those are of a challenger. Find them well.
Oops, we don't want to strengthen. We want to Ash of War. We're going to put Gambit on the dagger. And we're going to put Bloody Slash on the Stitcher. And no skill on the Torch. That just prevents you from doing the Torch Ash of War. Like if the Torch is in your left hand and like the Gambit dagger's in your right, and if you hit L2, it'll like, for some reason, it'll like default to the Torch, and but if you put no skill on it, then it'll just do like Gambit. I generally just two-hand the dagger, but yeah, that is all we need to do now. Okay, so now we're going to warp to Stormhill Shack. Get Margit's shackle ready. Alright, so similar to the way we came before, but this time we're going to kind of cut back and just follow this cliff this way. And then get into the Castleward tunnel. You do not need the grace here. Make a save state. Okay. So this is like really straightforward. Like we've got the source seal on. We don't need like a flesh or anything. Like it's not a problem like with the shackle whatsoever. So just come in here. Don't go too far forward. Drink your physic. Golden Vow. I even mana just to be safe, but you really don't need to. And then just run forward. Just run forward. Shackle him. L2. Twice, and then just, you know, riposte him or kill him. Like, it's literally that easy. Alright, so now we actually want to switch to Axe and Red Feather here. I'm not going to show Margit more. Like, with this strat, he's insanely free. So talk to this guy.
Well, but of course.
This first part of Stormveil is really easy, so I'm just going to show this first part once. Maybe I'll show the second part of the running section twice. So maybe I'll make a save state. So basically just wait for the gate to open. Gambit. You need to make sure it's nighttime here, by the way, so don't forget to do that. Once you're past this, like once you're up in this area, like this bush, just start crouching. Like just crouch run through here and just stay to the right. And none of the ballistas will shoot. And then just kind of head over this way. Like with Gambit at nighttime, like you don't have to worry about very much here. So our physic is still active because of Margit. One little trick you can do is like take this grace and then like just warp to it. This will refill your physics, so we can just basically run straight to Godrick and kill him. And I'll even make a save state here just so I can show it twice. Okay. So before you leave this door, Gambit again. We're gonna go to the right side here. There's a lily here. I always grab this. We're gonna go in through here, and we're gonna run up the right side to this bush and gambit again, and switch to the bow. We're gonna aim one right above the archer. You need to have two for Stormveil, by the way, and then throw one at this left wall. Then I switch to Serpent-Hunter here. We're gonna run up here and duck into the side, wait for that shot to shoot, and then run out. These guys are all distracted. We're gonna grab these kukris, and then a tap R2 on this guy. And then just come up here and gambit again. Just peek behind you, like they might be coming, but they're not aggroed or like on you yet. And then here you need to just kind of be weary of if any of these guys stand up and start pathing around. So there's a two pathing around normally, but if any of the ones on the platform start pathing around, they can shoot at you. So you want to just keep an eye out for them. If you kind of just like hide behind stuff and keep the gambit up, it's really hard for them to detect you. But right now, like, we got a perfect one. Like, nobody saw us. I'm gonna grab these smithing stone ones here. You don't need to do this if you're only doing Serpent-Hunter, but there's two number ones there. And I'm gonna grab this grace also, which you don't need to do if you're only doing Serpent-Hunter. I'll come back here in a little while. I'm actually gonna pull out the Stitcher. And then I'll show you, you can kind of set up Red Feather here, like, really quickly with the Stitcher. If you hit it against a wall like this. Now we have Red Feather set up. Don't need that anymore. And we want a Flesh. And then if you jump across here, you can grab even more kukris now. And you don't need that grace either, so... Now we'll do a Godrick save state. And I'm going to show you both of his openers. With these stats in this setup, Godrick's like basically completely free. I mean, you could always like whiff or something, but okay. So he has two openers. He has a drag attack and he has a jump attack. If he does the drag attack, we just attack him right away. If he does the jump attack, we just strafe to his right side. Well, his left side, our right side, and then attack. So I'll try to get both RNGs if I can. But we're gonna Physic, Golden Vow, Flesh, and we have Red Feather Talisman and the Axe Talisman on right now. But we want to like run forward right away and bait the opener. Oh, I was late right there. There's a good learning experience. Don't be late. If we have enough damage to knock him out of that. I thought he was gonna jump for a second, so I hesitated. But yeah, as soon as you see the drag attack happening, you want to start up your R2 if it's the drag. Alright, so you did the jump. Double up the charge R2. Crouch to regen stam. And he's dead. Alright, so let's do it again with the drag attack really quick. Oh, I don't need to drink mana here. Alright, drag attack. Oh my god. Alright, apparently you can start it up too early. I normally don't do it this way, so I'm very like out of practice for this. Yeah, I'm learning too. I know this works, but maybe it's a little bit more precise than I thought. You could always just like outspace it and then do your charge attack, but... I was doing the jump again. Oh, I didn't even strafe enough right there. Alright, we're not gonna one cycle him this time. If that happens, not a big deal. Just run forward, you can kill him. Alright, let's get the drag attack. Let's get like the proper drag attack punish here. And you know, this will take practice. That's why we have the save state. Do the drag. Damn it. Stop doing that. Dang it, I can't get that second one. Oops. I want a screenshot, sorry. Or through Margit. We'll kind of hit on Godrick, I guess. Yeah, give me the drag attack, guy. I didn't do this when I was running all remembrances, like the drag punish, but I know it's possible. I just haven't practiced it. Stop doing that one. Trying to do a tutorial here, buddy. Oh, I didn't have enough stamina. Okay. I'm gonna show the drag attack way one time properly. Good swords. Dang it. Alright, well we don't have the stamina to one cycle him, but whatever. That's the drag attack opener. It looks like you just need to wait till you see the sparks on the ground before you start it up, and then you're close enough. At least that's what it looked like. Okay. So I'm gonna show a little optional segment right now that you would only do if you're doing the Starfist ending. And I would do this after you kill Godrick just because it kind of makes sense to do it this way. And if you've done everything I've done so far, you're like well set up for this. So I'm gonna jump up here and we want to grab, we'll come back for that. There's another smithing stone 1 up here, which should give us we should have 12 now. Another 12. We've already used 12. And then there's 3 smithing 2s up here. And then, oops. I'm gonna gambit here, pull out the bow, and do a mighty shot fire arrow. This should kill this bird. There we go. And then jump onto this, jump over here, and just jump down here. And then you should be, yeah, nothing's gonna aggro here. So,
be proud.
and 4 more smithings. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Now we should have 12. Sorry. We should have, yeah, we have 12 of each, so that's literally all there is to that. And now I'm gonna grab one more thing that we'll use later for the Starfist. This is like totally optional. If you're only doing Serpent-Hunter, this does not matter. But we're gonna go out into this courtyard again with Gambit. It's still nighttime, which is good. I just want to see where these guys are pathing right now. Just, like, keep Gambit up. I'm hiding behind this tree. Like, I think we're safe here. I've done this several times. Yeah, once these guys are, like, turning, then we can go this way. Gambit again. I'll just sneak through here. I'm not really sure, like, how easily that crafted scion can detect me. Gambit one more time. Just peek into this room and then throw a kukri at the wall and then sneak. And we're just gonna grab this wet blade right here. And then we're gonna warp to Limgrave Tower Bridge. So if you're not doing the Starfist ending, you don't have to do any of that, like any of that smithing stone pickup stuff. But it was brought to my attention that I should show that, so we are showing it. I'm gonna switch to Radagon Sorcery on Warrior Jar Shard here, by the way. Just so I don't forget to equip Warrior Jar Shard. I usually just gambit by this little tree right here, and we just run up this right side. With Gambit on at nighttime, these guys they will aggro to you, but not like way later than usual. So you're really like, you don't have to worry about them. Like the first one's like just now aggroed to me. And then we just kind of like wait right here or so until the arrow shoots. And then I always run between his legs, but some people just run straight over to the teleporter. I'm not sure it matters. And then I think while I'm on the elevator, I'll get set up for the next segment, more or less, so. What am I doing? Alright, so while we're on the elevator... Hello? While we're on the elevator, we want to use Godrick's Great Rune. Or Godrick's Remembrance, sorry. I'm gonna equip the Seal and the Stitcher. And we're gonna leave this slot open. We're gonna put a different weapon here in a bit. Alright, don't warp away too early. Wait till you actually get the Great Rune, and now we're going to go back to Round Table. And we are going to level 15 Endurance and 10 Faith. And we're going to equip the Great Rune. And grab a couple other things. So now we've killed 2 Shard Bearers. We can get our 3rd talisman pouch from this lady.
Fine, you have it now to become the fingers as much.
And we're gonna put red feather there. And we're gonna talk to Roger.
My name's Roger, but now I'm in this. I had a little mishap, as you might guess. Oh, I'm privy to it. Would you care to look? Time can move a little conversation.
Tell me you've defeated Godrick.
Something to mark the occasion.
And he'll give you his weapon.
As you might have.
Then we want to use our rune arc. And equip the rapier. So now we are going to Fort Ferrith. Alright, so We're gonna go back over here to the tree. We're gonna kill the Erdtree Avatar here for the Poise tier. This is, I would say this is actually optional, and you don't have to do it right now by any means, but this is like the earliest you can do it. Like at least with like a really nice script. So this is where I would normally set up Red Feather. I'm actually going to use the tool just so we don't have to like set it up all the time. So I can just put on 1 HP. And then I can get rid of that. And shit. We'll make a save state here. This is kind of a tricky script, to be honest. There's some subtleties to it that I'll try to explain it to the best of my ability. But essentially the idea is to gambit, and make sure you don't kill yourself by gambiting, by the way. Like, normally you'd have more health than, like, 1, right? We're gonna go up on here. And then we're gonna drink our Physic. Golden Vow. Mana. Flame Grant Strength. Get out the Rapier and the Serpent-Hunter, and we're gonna throw a Kukri just, like, right in front of him. And we're gonna run up to him, make sure, wait till he stops. Cast the Glint Blades. Watch his breathing. Once he goes up for that second time, start up the L2. Double L2. Double L2 again, and he's dead. So that's... I did a lot of stuff there that's gonna be like really confusing. Just to see at first glance. So we'll do it one more time. You don't want to lock onto him until right before your L2 is about to like take off. So you want to be facing away from him so the glint blades don't shoot early. And then, you know, you're gonna like, hang on, where's the Serpent? You're gonna like start up the L2 and then lock on to spin yourself around, basically, right? And then the glint blades will hit, and then you follow it up, and he staggers. And then the other thing to look for is once he stops, he breathes up, breathes down, breathes up again, and then after that second one, he's gonna breathe down and then go into like a reset animation. You want to start up your L2 when he's at the peak of the second one. That way he like breathes down and goes into the reset animation before it hits him, because he's locked into that animation and he can't turn around and hit you faster. So I'll do it one more time here. So just stand on this root. We're gonna Physic, hopefully Physic. Golden Vow. Mana's important here, so make sure we keep that pretty full. All right, we're just gonna throw the Kukri like right in front of him. All right, so he's stopping, doing Glint Blades. Here's the top of the peak. I locked on. That'll take a lot of practice, but it's really nice to have. So there's a lot of subtleties to that. It takes a lot of practice. So just this is like the earliest you could do it. I'm actually going to use that tier on Goldfrey, so it's nice to have early, but it's totally up to you. Just learn to, like, one time just throw the Kukri and watch his breathing cycle so you kind of know what you want to do, and on the last breath before he does the reset animation, that's when you want to start the L2. And then just like lock on about halfway through the L2 animation or so. Okay, so this part is... So normally on all remembrances at this point I would do Raya Lucaria now, but we don't need to do that. So my notes are going to be a little different, I think, but let's see, like, what do we want to... We really don't need to level strength here. I guess we could do endurance. It says to go to 24 endurance, but I really don't think it matters. We'll just do endurance, why not? We just don't want to, we want to light roll for Goldfrey. That's like the main thing here. So, and then we want to change the Physic to the the stun tier, the stone barb, and the spiked. So 30 seconds of increased poise damage and 3 minutes of increased charge attack. And now we're gonna go kill Draconic Tree Sentinel now. So you just kind of head, I don't know, east. No, we don't need that. And we kind of head into these woods over here. We're kind of just heading up the right side of these stairs up here. There's mushrooms along the way. I know I'm low on mushrooms, so I want to make sure I grab those. We have a total of 6 cracked pots. Or 6 sleep pots. So you could cut left here and run straight up the steps. I like to do this little cheeky strat up here that's not like, it's really unnecessary. But I'll show it to you anyway. It's really not necessary, like. But if you gambit here and you take like the perfect path, neither of them will aggro. And if they do, it's not a big deal. You just run through here and then they like get teleported back. I'm gonna grab this grace for later. You don't need to do this. And then I usually go up the left side of these stairs. I see other runners run straight up the stairs. Apparently, one has been hit by doing that from the roar, some breath attack that the gargoyle does, so I would just rather not deal with that. Anyway, we're just working our way over to your Draconic Tree Sentinel. There's not a lot to worry about in this whole, like, segment, I guess. There is, we have plenty of mushrooms now, but that item in that tent right there is like 8 more mushrooms, so if you're low, you could grab that. And then normally like right around this rock here on the left side of the road, I'll gambit. And I just go up the left side here. I actually haven't seen really any other runners do this unless I taught them it. But if you gambit up this left side, like they just don't shoot at you. There's other ways to get through here if you don't have gambit. But if you have it, like, they just have no idea we're here. And then I can gambit again, like, before we get too close to the Draconic Tree Sentinel. And I'll make a save state. Alright, so... I'm only gonna do this fight once. It's, like, pretty free. It's just all about knowing, like, what to do. Essentially what we want to do is we're gonna hit him once and he's gonna jump in a certain direction. We're gonna follow him and do a double charge R2. And then he might like jump again and we'll just do like single charge R2, single charge R2. It's very free and we're not gonna use the physic. So save your physics. We're gonna use that. I guess you could, but we've already changed it to the stun and it doesn't really matter. Like I'll show you. You want to change back to the Axe Talisman, by the way. I should have done that after I killed the tree, but... we don't need... Well, we have RTSR right now, but normally you wouldn't, so let me turn that off. So... yeah, so no physic here. We're just going to Gambit, Golden Vow, Flame Grant Strength, and we're going to do 1 charged R2 to start. Follow him where he jumps. Double charged R2. Stun, regen, stam. Single charged R2. And then wherever... if he doesn't jump away there, you can double it up. But sometimes he jumps again, or you knock him backwards, and then you have to like follow him up for the final single. But it's 5 charged R2s. It's really, really free. And we don't need to like level or anything at this point, so... I don't think I have... yeah, okay. There's several ways to do the capital. I do it in a way a lot differently than other runners, like at least one tiny detail. And I'll explain like what they do and why I do it the way I do it. But basically you don't want to sit down at any graces in the capital, or else you have to talk to Melina. A lot of runners grab this grace and they run this top section twice. I personally just don't like to run the top section twice, so I don't do it that way. I'll show you what I do instead. And then I usually kill this guy. And then just kind of run around this guy. There's a rune here if you want it. It's really not necessary. And just drop off near these stairs and drop off over here. And then I run this part differently from other runners as well. They go like straight right here. I go left. And I'll show you why. So if you go left, it's like equally safe, but then it spits you out right here, like kind of where we want to be. Some runners go there to open the door early. I don't do that personally. Gambit again on the elevator. You can pick up that bow if you want. We're not going to use it. Just, this little rooftop sequence is kind of tricky. Just practice it. And then I'm going to, since I didn't grab the top grace, I'm going to grab the grace here. This is like the main difference. And part of the reason I did it this way for all remembrances is because I wanted to go down in the sewer early, so it was nice to have this grace. And then I just warp here to reset the enemy cycle, which you wouldn't have to do if you grabbed the top grace. So I mean, it's up to you. It doesn't really matter. I like this way better. I don't like running the top bubble section twice. I've seen memes with those bubble guys, so I don't think it's like horribly risky, but only running through once is more comforting to me. Another rune there if you want it. And if you just like sprint, block, jump up here, it's fairly quick. There's a rune arc there if you want it. This part up here, you can literally just run through it, like especially if you gambit. I'm gonna actually grab the grace up here. You guys don't need to grab this grace if you're only doing Serpent-Hunter, but we're gonna grab it to get Starfist. I just touched that doorway and... oops, I didn't backstab him, but he died anyway. I just like touch that doorway and retreat, wait for that guy to jump out, and then just... I usually backstab him, but apparently we can just R1 him, so... And then you don't need to grab this grace. If that guy was chasing you, that would probably be risky to grab, so I usually just... I always kill him, even if I don't need to grab Starfist, but... something to consider. And so we have to... I don't I don't know if Starfist is still here when it's Ashen Capital. I actually don't know how it affects this part of the world. So I'm assuming I should just grab it now. There's a duelist there. But we're going to take this path anyway, so... And, you know, we don't need the Starfist necessarily. We could just kill Boggart and use the Iron Balls. You know, it doesn't have to be Starfist, but... the Starfist look cool, so we're doing those. I would say for Serpent-Hunter, probably the bosses that you want to practice the most are, like, Godfrey and Goldfrey. So I'll try to, like, show some, like, strafes and dodges and stuff on both of them. I won't get like too in depth with like the boss fights, like the strategies. Alright, so I usually gambit before I get to any of these dudes. And again, probably don't need to do it a second time actually, but... So it looks like it's almost daytime. If it's daytime, I usually kill this one at the top because sometimes it can hear you setting up RTSR. Or Red Feather. The one charged R2 kills that guy. And then normally over here you would set up Red Feather. But luckily, you know, where this is a tutorial run, we can just literally put on 1 HP, so... And if you make a save with 1 HP, then when you load back in, it'll be 1 HP even if the tool's not active, which is kind of nice. Okay, so for this fight, we want Glint Blades. We want to make sure that we're light rolling, so... Alright, so we have enough endurance to be light load here, which is good. Axe Talisman, Red Feather. And then I'm gonna put on the throwing knives here because if he's just idling, we can do a throwing dagger and it'll like kind of force him into a move. So, oh shit, I didn't actually like make a save. Let me do that really quick. Oops. Okay, and another thing I do here is we're actually gonna do Goldfrey and Morgott together. Because we can do it with 1 RTSR setup. Hey, Yak, what's up, dude? So basically, if we take our Physic now and fight Goldfrey, we can go up and kill Morgott, and like this charge attack portion of the Physic will still be active, and then we don't have to set up RTSR twice, which is a really nice thing. So we're gonna do 2 bosses in a row here. Well, I'm gonna show Goldfrey a few times before we move on. So basically, cast your Glint Blades. I guess you can drink your Physic early, it doesn't really matter. Flame Grant Strength. Alright. So, we're gonna try to bait an attack from him. Rolling R1 this. Alright, we didn't get the good follow-up. I'm gonna try to get on his right hip. Oh. There we go, I'm on his right hip. Tap R1. I'm just doing, this is the easiest strafe in the world right here. Alright, so pretty easy Goldfrey, right? I'll show it a few times. Like, I want to see if we can get some weird RNG, so... How am I counting hits on Goldfrey? What button did I hit? We didn't get hit. Oh, it's because I hit... Okay, I understand. We doing the Lord's work. Yeah. There's a lot of new runners in Team Hitless working on Elden Ring, and they've been asking for a Serpent-Hunter tutorial on current patch, so I'm just kind of show some current patch strats. Oh yeah, throwing knives. Let's see if we can get him to idle too. I made Physic last just so it lasts the longest, so it doesn't run out before Morgott. We just want to bait an attack. Rolling R1, straight left, charge R2. Oh shit. Wow, that was really easy. I mean, I don't really know how to like teach this too well. You know what I mean? Like, you got to spend a lot of time in the fight. Hey, Sakura, how you doing? One of the Japanese sisters is here. The second one is coming. Excellent. How you guys doing? And yeah, so we don't have the luxury of like red mains anymore, but like with this setup, it's like pretty disgusting. Okay, so yeah, and I use the throwing dagger to like make him do an attack. It's really useful. Oops, I didn't want to physic early, but whatever. I'll do it one more time, just to show some moves maybe. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So the glint blades actually kind of help us bait an attack usually. All right, so you didn't bait an attack. I mean, that's like insane RNG. Like 2 R1s. Like what was it? A jump R1, a rolling R1. Then we just sprint strafe to the left. Did a charged R2 to stagger him. Like, I mean, I can go more in depth with this fight. You're gonna have to spend a lot of time learning his moveset, but like, I mean, we can just freaking melt him. So I'm gonna continue on for now. So that fight can be like really free with that setup. So that's the important part. Like we use the stun tier. That's the important part, the stun tier, because he has like I think 110 poise. And then our physics still active. We should be able to two-shot this guy. Let's see, without rebuffing. Re-aim the second one high because he jumps upward. So yeah, he dies, and then I guess we can equip Alexander's shard here. We don't really need it, but okay. So Morgott is like absolutely insanely free. I'm gonna show it just the one time, okay? So our physic is still active. The charge attack portion of our physic is still active. We don't need to set up RTSR again. So all we need to do here is just rebuff with Golden Bow and Flame Grant Strength. And then this just prevents us from having to set up Red Feather again. So we can just Red Feather once for both these bosses. It just saves you time. And like, here we're just gonna run forward, shackle, double charge R2. One more. And then riposte. That's literally it. As long as your physic isn't worn out, you're good there. If the physic happens to wear out, you'll just do one more charge R2 at the end, and then you're good. I'm gonna take like one of these runes too. Maybe not. I'll just save those runes for now. I should get the third. Oh, there's a third. I didn't know there was a third. That's interesting. The trio. Okay. So Morgott is like insanely free with the shackle. Like I don't think there's a reason to really show it more. Like just practice it. If you you can make a save state there even. You know, like your physic won't be still active, so you might want to like rest at that grace after you kill the assassin, set up RTSR again or whatever, but oh, there's wait, so oh, okay, I got you. 3 Japanese sisters. All right, so now we need to talk to Melina, get the rolled medallion.
A husk of the only way and become my purpose. So I'd like to the flame and guide you.
So we want to change the physic here. It's important not to have the stun physic on for Fire Giant. We want to do damage, not stun him early. So Strength Knot and Spiked Tier here. And then we want to level to like 60 Strength. We have exactly enough to go to 60. So we're actually really close to getting a little bit more. So I'm going to actually pop one of those little runes we have, because I want to be able to bone out of Fire Giant if necessary. So I don't want to waste a lot of runes if that happens. So we're just going to go to 61 Strength, we'll say. And then I will put on a Beast Torch for this part. So we're gonna warp back to Avenue Balcony. That was the one we grabbed after we did the roof jumps. And then I just literally run out here and run down the street. Instead of doing that upper part twice, this is what I do. And this guy can't do anything to you. Like, he can't do, like, the holy attack. Like, if he's not below a certain HP, when he does that butt slam, like, nothing comes out. So, I would just rather run down the street, personally, than, like, run up on those rooftops again. So that's why I do it this way. But not everybody does that. I don't know if maybe this is longer technically. I'm not really sure, but I am going to pick up. So normally I would have used my other Exalted Flesh on Rykard, but I forgot. So I have one extra Exalted Flesh right now. I'm going to pretend that I don't have that, and I'm going to show you guys how to pick up this third one. I think we can do something kind of cool with it with the Star Fist later, possibly. So I'm going to grab it just so we would have one more, like a third one at our disposal. So it's daytime now, so we're gonna have to sneak once we get up here. But we're just gonna grab this, just sneak away, try to stay like kind of far away from that cluster of enemies, and that's all you have to do. So we technically have 2 Exalted Flesh right now, but that's because I forgot to use one. Hello, Mai. How are you doing? Hola, como tale vu, so nice to meet ya. I don't know what that means, but it sounds cool. Okay, so we have a shitload of kukris. This section's like... Maybe I should turn off 1 HP again. Anyway, we're gonna gambit at the top of these steps. I usually throw a kukri at this pillar. It gets like all 3 of these guys distracted. Basically, this just prevents me from getting aggroed and like losing stamina here. Gary Snakes, hello, how are you doing? What is Switch Raffle? I'm gonna raffle away a Switch this weekend. I'm raffling away a Switch this weekend. Yeah. I think the exclamation mark 500 is like the... I mean, you could. Anybody who enters my daily giveaway gets a free entry to the Switch raffle. Anybody who like cheers or subs, they get entries. There's a lot of ways to get entries, but yeah. But the daily giveaway is exclamation mark daily. That gives you a free entry. If you enter the daily giveaway, you get a free entry to the Switch raffle. Here's the link for that if you want to enter. It is kind of pay to win. Like right now, the person with the most entries has like I don't know, 1,800 entries or something. Okay, so Forbidden Lands. This part's not too tricky. There are some traps here that you need to avoid because they count as a hit. I'm just gonna gambit on this first little, like, I don't know, plateau or whatever. If it's nighttime, you have to deal with the Knight's Cavalry, so keep that in mind. If the Knight's Cavalry is out, I would usually, like, wait right about here and throw a kukri, like, over this way. And it'll distract them. But, alright, when you jump to this island, there's traps on the left side, so just go on the right side and you don't have to worry about getting hit by a trap. You got the other sister? Wait. Is Gary Snakes the third sister? Or did I miss one? This part's not too specific. Like, just learn the path through. Avoid those little, like, militiamen or whatever they're called. I didn't think so, but you never know. So here I just hugged the left side. Keep your camera panned on this guy because you want to look out for his breath attack. So he's doing a melee attack, which is good. That takes up a lot of time. Basically, if he stops moving, he's about to do the breath attack, and you want to make sure you don't get hit by that. But yeah, he's so far behind now, we don't have to worry about him. Oh, okay, okay. Hello, Pi. I am the Witterus, aka Mr. Witty. Play Souls games a lot. I do no-hit runs in Souls games. Right now I'm doing a no-hit run tutorial for newer runners. Prospective Team Hitless additions, perhaps. Alright, I'm gonna grab this Grace because I'm gonna come back here later to upgrade the Starfist. So, you don't need to do that if you're only doing the Serpent-Hunter. This tutorial is basically a Serpent-Hunter tutorial, but I'm going to show an alternate late game that's way easier than Serpent-Hunter. And it doesn't really add that much time, so I would really recommend it. It could get nerfed, so it's something to, like, think about, but I don't know if, like, this weapons are mainstream enough to be on, like, From Software's radar or not. She said, hi, nice to meet you. How have you been? Japanese triplets. How are you? Wait, are you triplets or just sisters? No, I think just sisters, right? Okay. Wait, do you live in Japan? Or are you just from there? I feel like your time zone was something else. Oh, I should mention, back there, the way I jumped onto the bridge, it kind of prevents the big guy from aggroing to you, so he can't, like, shoot a fireball in your back. And then you just want to avoid that guy's first shot there. I is the oldest, Sakura is the second, and you're the youngest. Oh, you do? Okay. So what time is it there right now? It's like 1 p.m. for me. I thought for some reason, like, your time zone was like some European one or something. Anyway, Mountaintops is a fairly just long and boring segment. Oh, it's 4 a.m.? Holy crap, what are you doing up right now? You are night owls. Ah, fair enough. Hey, live your best life, you know? Alright. So, yeah, we're just kind of working our way through the mountaintops semi-normally, I would say. Oh, I like this. Alright, so here I want to, like, just kind of hug up this left side. And we're going to gambit here in a second. Usually by this grave is where I'd gambit. And we just want to make sure we don't get shot in the ass by these archers when we cross this invisible bridge up here. So I kind of just, like, hug this left side as much as I can. And then on this invisible bridge, just want to, like, jump off up onto this rock. Is how I normally would do it. Pretty easy, like, definitely worth practicing. The Ola Como Telltale Vu. Oh, that's the name of this song. Those guys are a little bit farther away there, or like closer to me. You could gambit before them if you want to be safe. Here we just want to avoid this dog. And then I personally gambit again here. Most runners don't, but I just like to not have my stamina drained. So I usually just gambit right at this grace, pretty much. And then I kind of just run right behind these guys that are kneeling down over here. And then straight up this way. And then I just didn't, like, I didn't get any aggro there by anyone. And there's, like, several ways to get through this area. There's several ways to enter the fire giant fight. I don't really know, like, the benefits of, like, the different ways to do it. I've just always done it the same way. And it seems to be fine, so I feel like I'm just doing like the simple way. Some people like buff while he's walking at you. Some people try to bait out like a specific opener. For my Fire Giant strat, it doesn't matter what opener he does really, so. I run around the right side of this so I don't get near that hand spider. Let those guys fight it out. And then I always grab this Grace. I need to grab this Grace anyway because I want to come back here to get like the plus 25 smithing stone. But I always grab this Grace just so I can bone out a Fire Giant if something goes wrong. So, and then there's like a little like kind of parkour skip you can do to get back up top. All right, so here I'm gonna put the seal in the same hand as the short sword with golden bow for this fight. I'll show you why. Let me make a save state really quick. There we go. Alright, so here's our Fire Giant save state. I'm also going to just put on 1 HP on the tool just so I don't have to set up RTSR. And we want to have sleep pots ready as well. So I normally run up to like this big tree right here, and I buff here. So we're gonna take the Physic, which we took the stun tier out of, Golden Vow, and then I drink mana, and then Flame Grant Strength, and then I start going forward. And you can two-hand your Serpent-Hunter while it's on the horse if you have it in your left hand. I highly recommend keeping it in your left hand. Roll the snow. He did the jump. This is actually really good RNG. Break his bracelet. Aim high. Free aim it. 2 hits to the foot. And then jump R2. 2 more sleep pots. Or 2 sleep pots, I should say. That should sleep him. And then 2 charged R2s. Oh. Alright, this is gonna be a little tricky. I put him in a little bit too early. So we're gonna have to get an extra hit in on him, so I'll show you how that works. So we're gonna Flame Grant Strength again. Go to this bush right here. And then stun him with a headshot. And then 2 charge attacks to the eye. So that's actually like, that was actually great RNG. Like he did like the jump attack, which is like amazing because it's so easy to break the bracelet. But I think my Flame Grant Strength was still active, so I put him into phase 2 with only 1 charged attack. If we put him into phase 2 with 2 charged attacks, then we'd only have to do the 2 on the hand to stagger him. So you just need to know that, right? Like I knew, okay, I'm gonna have to get an extra hit, so I did the extra like R1 to the head. Well, I'll show the fight again. Maybe we can get like some different RNG. But there's a lot of subtleties to this fight, and you kind of just need to know like the different openers he can do and like what to do in each situation. So I'm gonna try to get him to do the other opener. I want to at least show the other opener. I think that's important. Hey, Rissa, how are you doing? I'm doing good. We are making a no-hit tutorial video today. Alright, we 2-in the Serpent-Hunter. Oh, he's doing the same opener. Maybe he'll do a different attack to follow it up. Nope, he did a jump again. Re-aim that one. Try not to hit his hand when you get the second 2 here. That was actually not a good hit right there. I'll wait a little longer here. So this time we should get 2. Wow, this is terrible, actually. Wow, this is really bad. Wow. I don't know why, but I was doing like no fucking damage there. I have no idea what's gonna happen here. So here's a good example. If something like that goes wrong, just bone out. Like, yeah, we wasted some sleep pots, but there's actually a place where we can get a lot more lilies if we need them. Like, I can get 10 lilies really easily if we need them. It's under the Albanarg village. Maybe I could show that. I don't know if I need to. But yeah, if that happens, you can totally just bone out and try it again. And we only need 2 sleep pots for Godskin Duo. I'm doing as well as I can. School's been crazy. It's been finals week. Oh, that would be good. Almost done with this one. That's good. All right, so yeah, so that was like a good. I'm glad that's in this video because it's good to know like when things go wrong, like how to fix them, I guess. I'm gonna try to get him to do the other opener though. That'd be really nice. Oh, here comes the other opener. Okay, don't hit him right now. We want to get into position to where his foot's going to be. Oh shit, this is bad. I got on the wrong side of his foot right there. Okay, here we go. Ideally, you'd want to hit him. Wow, we stunned him early? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. All right, here we go. We'll try to save this. Okay, one. Okay. This should be savable. Alright, so I ended up on the wrong side of his foot on that other opener. Maybe I'll try to get it one more time. I'd like to show the other opener with like a proper script. Okay, Sakura. Yeah, today's a $20 gift card, by the way, if anybody is not in that yet. You should definitely get in on that. Wait, what? My bot's broken now, huh? The bot's been fucking up lately a lot, actually. Alright. Let's try to get the proper, I forgot to drink mana that last time. They're giving us the good RNG again. Oh, too much damage. Not a problem though. If you know you only put him in with one, you just know how to correct it. I'm gonna get too close to that fire. Go away. Alright, so there I had to like avoid the fire. So you could bone out here. Or we could just fight him. I'm gonna try to turn him away from those orbs. Oh shit. I should have taken a wider loop around him. Yeah, so that's a good reason why you would just bone out. Like, especially if that was the first to go. I should have taken a wider loop there. I didn't think he could hit me with his melee attacks at that range, but I was wrong. But yeah, I would highly recommend boning out and learning where the extra lilies are, because I mean, we just don't need that many more lilies on this run, so you can actually like bone out a few times if you're not getting what you want. I want to get him to do the other opener. Okay, so this is different RNG. That one's kind of hard to aim, by the way. Or not to hit the hand. If you hit the hand, it's not a big deal. You probably just get a guaranteed second charge dart too. Like right here. We got the second charge dart too, so this would be a lot easier of a phase 2, I think. Alright. I mean, I feel like that's enough Fire Giant. You just have to like practice it a lot, learn how to deal with each of his openers. If he goes down on one knee, it's important not to hit him until he stands back up, because if you break his bracelet while he's down on one knee, then his foot shoots forward like 30 feet, and then you can't get the double charge R2 after the ankle is broken. So you just wait for him to stand back up. You just have to kind of learn where to stand. And then I tried to show it earlier, but I ended up on the wrong side of his foot, and then I didn't even break the bracelet, so that's maybe like better to show just so you can see like what not to do. But ideally, once he stands back up, I break the bracelet, and then the rest of it goes just like normally. Okay, so we do want to pop his remembrance before we go up here. Okay, so it's very important not to go beyond 67 strength here. So the reason for that is we can get a really, really easy one-cycle Godskin Duo kill if we're at 67 strength. If we're above that, then it doesn't work because you accidentally kill one. So 67 strength, I'm putting the rest in endurance for now.
This world and death. Are you prepared to commit? Very well, let my hand.
But yeah, I would say Fire Giant's tricky, but once you learn how to deal with each opener, then the rest of it should go almost the same way every time. It really matters on how many charge R2s it takes to put him into phase 2 at the end. So if it's only one, then you do 2 on the hand, R1 on the head. If it's 2, then he's going to stun on the second one on the hand, basically. Okay, so here, we're gonna put Gambit back on. Let me turn off 1 HP as well. Just so we can see like fall damage and stuff. Do you have any tips for hitting the eye with the CR2s? Great question, Zero. I would say aim for his lower eyelid. If you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, maybe I should have grabbed that. I personally try to like aim more left rather than right. I think that helps a lot. Because if you hit his upper eyelid, it tends to not count as a bonus damage hit, you know what I mean? Alright, so I Gambit on the stairs, hit the ground here. That makes that guy like run up there. And then this room, I just run like kind of along this left, like, I don't know, line, and then it kind of avoids that dude right there. How you doing, by the way, Zero? And then here, I just kind of run in like a straight path, like straight across there, and kind of like, I don't know, come into this inner circle part. I've seen guys run around the left side. I just run a straight line. Just look out for the AoE lightning here, make sure it's not going to hit you. And then I kind of do like a really like fucking stealthy way through this next part. It's a little bit longer than other runners, but... So for this room, we just kind of wait for this guy to get out of my way. Go around him. Go up on this roof. And then I Gambit again at this coffin. And then I'm gonna jump onto the railing here. and then jump over here. And then like literally like I'm like free and clear right here. Like nothing saw me. And then I will set up Gambit again before I drop down. I highly recommend sitting down at a Grace in Farum Azula before you fight Godskin Duo, just in case you want to bone out. Like, you'll be travel locked otherwise. This guy's going to jump out. You can just run past. But I usually sit at this Grace right here just so I'm not travel locked, just in case I want to bone out for whatever reason. Like, if something goes wrong or whatever, I just don't want any memes with this guy. It's a fairly simple fight if you do, like, the one cycle strat, which I'll show. But I gambit again and run over here. You actually don't need to gambit if you're fast enough, and you probably don't need to crouch with gambit either. And you honestly don't even need gambit. But I don't take any chances. I'll gambit and do like the stealth strats. You know what I mean? And then there'll be a guy on the left. We can just kind of jump down in the arena. You can actually jump down in here and then make your save state even. So I need to put the seal back on, and I'm gonna use the tool again. We're just gonna set up RTSR with the tool. On a live run, you would use like the Stitcher or whatever. Insurance, exactly. So yeah, so here I don't think I dropped anything yet, did I? Okay, so we're just gonna make a save state. And maybe I'll make a save state for bird section. Maybe I could show. I'm gonna show bird section, and I'm gonna show bird skip, because if you're gonna do Starfist later, you don't need to get a +10 Serpent-Hunter. We'll deal with that later on, but anyway, we have a duo save. Basically, that save state will put us up top, like right before we like walked in. So if you load it and load back into the game, you want to make sure you jump down here like kind of quick. So all right, so this part's kind of so let's call this edge right here, we're gonna say that's the start of this like little like rectangle, like this tomb or whatever you want to call it. So this is the start, this is the end, okay? So what we want to do is we want to run to the start of the second one and then retreat to the end of this first one, like right here. So while facing forward, just graze this, run straight back, and then just line up like straight ahead, throw a sleep pot, pause, throw another one, and then that should get them both. You can also do it with a kukri if you want to save a sleep pot. So we take our physic, it's the same one as Fire Giant, it doesn't have the stun tier in it. I'm going to go in front of the big one. Don't do it from behind. Double charge R2. And then tap R1. And then riposte. And then double charge R2 on his dead body. Okay, look at that damage. Like, that's insane, right? And then if you don't have to, but you can buff again, just to make sure the buffs don't wear out on this guy. And then we're gonna do a charge R2, riposte him while he's still sleeped, and then a double charge R2. This is an Opie strat. It's absolutely insane. So easy one cycle right there. I'll show it one more time. That's like the best, like that's one of the biggest strengths of the Serpent-Hunter, is that Godskin Duo is just like not an issue. Like it's not easy to execute, but once you learn it, you're pretty stacked. So just always make sure you gambit. You can definitely fuck that up. Oh, I'm aiming my camera as high as it'll go here, by the way. That's why I stand like right here. It's like a easy way to line it up. So yeah, physic. I could probably only buff once for this. Let's try it with only buffing once. So we're gonna in front of the big guy. Wait, let my stamina regen fully. Flame Grant Strength still active. Still active. Oh, it just went away. But it doesn't matter. Like, our damage is so high. Alright, so here's an important thing to think about on this part, okay? After you kill them, I'm not going to level right now or anything. You could level, but I highly recommend... Like, normally we wouldn't have this 1 HP set manually. Like, we'd be at like, we'd be at like, I don't know, 20% or less HP. So it's important to remember to drink a health flask after you kill them. So heal up, that way you don't kill yourself with Gambit. Run out here, Gambit again, hit this thing right here. That lures the guy underneath of us. And I just jump over to this platform. I'll kind of show you where, like, he's distracted right now. And then I can just drop down. I'm gonna go to the outside of this dog. And then just try to, like, line up with this pillar. And then I kind of keep Gambit up this whole time. It's not super necessary, but... I just like to have Gambit on. I don't want anyone to, like, aggro us to where I have to, like, worry about my stamina. So I'm gonna Gambit one more time here. Yeah, so standard Serpent-Hunter route, we're gonna run through bird section because we want that plus 10. If you're doing Starfist for the end of the game, you could do Maliketh with plus 9. That's like totally optional. Either way, I'm gonna grab this Grace here. Normally I wouldn't. Normally I wouldn't grab this Grace, but let me make a save state. Okay. Alright, we'll do birds the regular way first. Alright, so it's very important here. Good song for this section, that's true. So I Gambit first, drop off, immediately crouch, and just kind of sneak around this first bird. Drop off here, drop off here. Just look out for the lightning. That should get you through to this red rooftop, which is like a safe zone. And then we're gonna do a weapon art, manually aim, and shoot an arrow at him. As long as you see the damage bar pop up, that means he's going to fly away. We might have to sit out one more wave of lightning here. So then Gambit one more time, two-hand your Serpent-Hunter, come down here, drop off, and then crouch. And then we're gonna just charge our to this bird, crouch again, and just kind of sneak forward in a straight line. And then, like, once you're about down here, you're free to go. And then, yeah, so we did pick up the Bloodhound claws, which you really don't need, but I guess I'll show it. Like, I'll show you, like, what you can do with them if you're kind of worried about this section. This is like the only place in any percent I would use them, and it's really not necessary, but it's such a free pickup that I figured I might as well throw it in here just to show. But yeah, so there's the Somber 10, the Ancient Dragon Somber Smithing Stone. And then I usually Gambit again, like somewhere around here. And then I throw a Kukri here. Not a lot of people do this. I throw a Kukri there to distract that guy. And then you just gotta be careful when you're running across this. Make sure you're on the pillar and don't slide off, because I've accidentally slid off before. I don't think it was a live run, but it was like definitely like a hit on a run I had. And then I want to wait until my Gambit wears off before I enter here. There's actually some strats for this where you use sleep pots, but I'm not gonna show those. So this guy has 2 attacks, they're both delayed. So if he runs at you like that, it's gonna be a delayed attack. Otherwise, he'll like charge up an attack from far away, and then it's also kind of delayed. Just practice this running section and make sure you know both of his attacks. They're both delayed, and you can just dodge them. You don't need the Bloodhound claws, but I figured I'd just show them since I have them. And Yeah, so I guess I can show bird skip as well. So let me show the bird skip. I'll show the bird skip. We have the other grace, so if you're doing Starfist for late game, you can skip this whole bird section. So we're gonna gambit again, just like normal. Jump onto this planter, jump the railing clean. We want to land on this ledge. If you don't land on this ledge, you're gonna die. And then I gambit again. I just keep gambit up this whole time because I don't want anything to like aggro to me, because then you can't map warp. If you mess up this bird skip, you need to map warp back to that grace. And you have to do it kind of quick, so you definitely want to practice that. So I aim my head like just above this like kind of like line in the building. Just like kind of straight ahead, just my head just above it. And then I'll gambit again. And then this guy should go to sleep. You need to jump the railing clean here, or else you'll fall off. And then just hold block and sprint while you're doing this. And then jump over. It takes some practice, and if you fall down, you need to map warp back, or else you die. But it's not too hard once you like do it a few times. So yeah, if you plan on doing Starfist, you could do the bird skip. Like, you don't need a +10 for Maliketh. And we're actually gonna go. Oh, I should have went to EG actually. So we'll go to EG actually to upgrade to +10 now. But yeah, so there's two ways through the bird section there. If you plan on doing like the alternate ending that I'm going to show after we do Serpent-Hunter, then I will, then maybe you would consider doing +9 Maliketh. It's not that much different, to be honest. Alright, so we have +10 Serpent-Hunter now. And Maliketh's kind of tricky, I'm not going to lie. And another thing we want to do is change the physic back. And maybe we should level here, actually. So we're going to change it back to the stun and the charge attack. And then we're going to... I guess it doesn't really matter what we level. We want to get to 79 strength, basically. So that's your first priority. And then after that, you can do the rest endurance or something. We just don't want more than 67 for Godskin Duo. Or else the Noble dies on the R1. And if you attack him from behind, he'll also die on the R1, so you want to make sure you're in front of him. So we just gambit and then crouch run pass on the left side. Okay, so Maliketh's kind of tricky, so let's make a save. There's a way to fight him where it's like basically scripted if he does the right RNG. But you never know what's gonna happen, so I personally take my physic last because I want it to run out. I don't want it to run out. So I will do Golden Vow, Flame Grant Strength. And maybe I should have done Mana first, doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna enter and do Glint Blades, and then do my physic. And then I'm gonna run forward and like turn away from him. I don't wanna lock on yet, right? I wanna fight him like this. Roll right, right, left. Alright, this is a little weird. I did an L2 for some reason. You don't have to do an L2, but... Alright, one back step here. I was hoping 2 L2s would just kill him. And then run forward, double charge R2, and I free aim these a little bit. Okay. So if you have the stun tier, you can do it like that with the L2s. I need to show more of this fight though, for sure. So let me reload this. So you don't want your glint blades to hit too early, or else his poise will go back up high enough to where you won't stun him if you do the L2. how else do I explain this too? So essentially we want him to run at us and do his thrust attack. You want to roll that to the right, and then he's going to do 2 swipes after that, roll right, left, and then he can add in a 3rd one, and he'd roll that to the right. And then you want to back away from his like ground stab. And with this exact setup, we could stun him with a charged R2 even. But if you lock on with the glint blades early, then the glint blades can hit too early. So I'll run it a couple of times, and I'll see what like kind of weird situations we get put into. All right, so I don't want to lock on yet because I want him to run at me, which he doesn't always do. I don't know if I like the L2 strat, to be honest. Uh-oh. Aw, bummer. I missed a fucking riposte somehow. I mean, that's something that can go wrong. Like, I almost saved it, but... I don't know Maliketh phase 2 all that well. So... let's see if I can do it better this time. I mean, I'm getting like the right opener.
Destined death. I will not have it.
I feel like input reads the block. There's the additional 3rd swipe. Oh shit, I didn't back away enough. See, there's something that can go wrong. Yeah, you need to back away from that ground stab enough. I thought it was far enough away, but I'm just kind of rusty on this fight. But I'm gonna do it once without the L2s because they're kind of slow. I'd rather do a charged R2, I think.
Destined death. I will not have it stolen.
Here's the additional swipe. He might stun on the first one now, I'm not sure. I don't know if that counts towards his poise or not. Oh, this is fine. Alright, make sure we get the riposte here. And this will kill him. Okay, so that's better. I personally like that charged R2 better than doing the L2, but I mean, you can kind of decide. The idea though is to bait that combo and then stun him at the appropriate time. So you can learn his phase 1 just in case things go wrong. Like, I highly recommend doing that actually. But yeah, if you get him to run at you like that, if he doesn't run at you, then you just try to wait for that combo. You just try to bait that combo from mid-range. Like, eventually he'll do it. But that's essentially what you want. Like, he runs to you probably 90% of the time, and if you just bait the combo properly, you can just stagger him, and then the fight just should be over. And that's ideally what you want to go for. It definitely helps to know phase 1 because let's say things go horrible and you fight him phase 1, your charge attack physic wears off, and you put him into phase 2. If you put him into phase 2 with any amount of poise buildup, then phase 2 should be the same or like close enough. Did I even have RTSR? I didn't even have RTSR on, guys. Let's do Maliketh one more time. I forgot to set up RTSR. I was like, why is my damage so low? It seems kind of low here. All right, so now we have RTSR on. Let's see how this goes. So maybe that would be like the equivalent of fighting him with +9. Like if you want to do Starfist after this. Wrong button. Alright. I whiffed. I fucking whiffed that one. Alright, let's see what the damage looks like with RTSR. I'm betting 2 charged attacks put him into phase 2 probably. The one thing I would worry about them nerfing is the Glint Blades. They do 40 poise damage if all 4 hit, and I could see them definitely getting rid of that, or like lowering it. Okay, so we don't quite have enough damage. 1 R1 though is fine. 1 backstep. I aim this one farther forward so I can get up in front of him. Oh my god. Alright, that's way more damage. So with +9, you'd probably want to make sure you have red feathers set up. But with +10, it looks like you don't even need it with +10. So, I mean, if you want to save an RTSR setup, I mean, that would be the one to do it with. If you're going +10, you could just probably, like, you just don't need it. Okay, so I'm gonna make a save state here before I do anything, before I level or anything. Yeah, I'm gonna make a save state here, so we're gonna come back here. We're gonna come back here for an alternate ending, basically. So let's just call this one... Shit. We'll call it Ashen. Did not mean to skip ahead on the splits, my bad. Okay. First things first, we'll do the end of the game with Serpent-Hunter, and then I'll show you the alternate thing. So if we're doing Serpent-Hunter, we really don't need to level yet, or even grab this Grace, I suppose. Actually, no, we need to sit here because of our physics, so we might as well level. We can get to 77 strength, almost 78. Anyway. We still have RTSR set up. Like, normally you'd set it up before Gideon. I'm not gonna, like, bother messing with that. Gideon's, like, pretty straightforward with Serpent-Hunter. I'm only gonna show it the one time. Or Lu, though, that's a bit trickier. Alright, so I have an Ashen Capital save before I spend all my runes. That's important because if we're going to do Starfist, we're going to spend a lot of those runes on, like, upgrading it, so... I'm not even going to set up a save state for Gideon Serpent-Hunter because we have that Ashen one anyway. So, what's in the physic right now? Stun? I don't think we need a physic here, actually. I think you can save it for Godfrey. Like, if you set up RTSR for Gideon, I think you can just save your physic for Godfrey. That way you don't have to, like, sit down. Alright, you don't want to hit him until he says what he just said, a sad state of affairs.
But alas, none shall take the throne. Queen Maliketh has hopes for us, that we continue to strive. No.
You can just R1 him there, actually, too, so... Double L2 and then just hit him one more time. Make sure he's... All the sister All the sisters dying? Wait, what happened? What?
Even you. A man cannot.
So we still have our physic. We can just set up a horror lose save state like as is. Like you would, this is another instance where you can save your physic for him. Or like save your physic for horror Lu and not, like you don't need to level up for horror Lu. We can just wait till after. And we can just do a 2-for-1 RTSR setup here. So like you could do Maliketh without RTSR, then you could just do one setup for these last 2 bosses and then one more for Elden Beast. Oh shit. And I'm a Glint Blade enjoyer for Horror Lu, so I don't know if you guys use Glint Blade strats, but I'm gonna try to show you kind of roughly how I would fight him with Glint Blades anyway. So let's get out our save organizer. We'll call it Serpent-Hunter Godfrey. Well, that's unfortunate. I hope they find it. Okay. We made the save state. Alright, so let me think about this. So I want to physic last, probably. So I'm gonna do Golden Vow, Mana, Flame Grant Strength, Physic. I want that rapier out, by the way. And then I'm gonna buffer a sprint. Like, I don't know if you can see my controller on screen, but I've got sprint held down here. I'm like ready to sprint. And we're gonna strafe him in a counterclockwise circle. R1. I'm gonna walk behind him here. Pull out my Glint Blades. I'm gonna take the riposte here. He has a lot of health left. One R1 with Glint Blades. This is gonna be absolutely perfect. I probably should have only done a single there, but I thought he would die. Normally I just roll R1, roll, and then finish him off. Like, okay, so we're gonna do that again. The idea is to put him into phase 2 with a certain amount of poise buildup. So I'm gonna actually show you guys something. We're gonna do that fight again. This is a tricky one to learn, by the way. So I'm gonna turn on in-game poise view. Basically what I do is I try to get the stagger on him. And once he's staggered, then I have to quickly decide, do I riposte or not? If he has a lot of health left, I want to riposte. If he's almost dead, or if he's almost to phase 2, I don't want to riposte, okay? And then we want to get a full set of Glint Blades to hit him, and 1 charge attack, and 1 extra attack. It can be 2 charged attacks, it can be a charge attack and an R1. We just want a certain amount of poise damage to put him into phase 2. So I'll do it again with the poise meter on so we can see. And you will have to like learn his moves, of course. But we want the perfect phase 2 setup, essentially. This fight's almost scripted. Alright, so I'm gonna take the riposte here. Alright, look at his poise. It's like 20, he's like 25% poise left right now. See it right there? Alright, so here's what I would normally do. Just do 1, roll it, R1, roll it, charge R2. That's how I would normally finish him off. That's like way safer than going for a double. But I can't really get too in depth with like this boss. Like you saw me do like the strafe. Essentially, you want to stick to his left hip when you can, because then you can just do that little strafe. And like the tap R1 is like your second best poise damage dealer, so it's like it's fine just to R1 him over and over. But yeah, I'm not gonna get too carried away with it. But essentially, the idea is to put him into phase 2 with the correct amount of poise, and it's going to take some practice. But if you do roughly what I just did there, like it can almost go the same way every time. Like the only other thing that could have happened there in phase 1 is maybe he doesn't do the groundswell attack, and I don't use my glint blades the first time, and then I just stagger him with normal attacks and then take the riposte. So, and if I had done too much damage before I got the riposte, or before he staggered, then I probably wouldn't riposte him. I would just cast my glint blades early, wait for him to stand back up, because then he's going to go into his like roar sequence. And if that's the case, I would do like a charged R2, roll the stomp, and then do another one to put him in phase 2, and then he'd have like a tiny shred of poise left, and then any attack in phase 2 would stagger him. But I would just do a double CR2, because then that'll put him into phase 2.5, and then you just finish him like that. So you do need to learn his moveset. I wish I had more time to like go into like more of the dodging, but there's videos specifically for that. But essentially the idea here is to put him into phase 2 with the perfect amount of poise buildup, and the glint blades help with that immensely. So now this Elden Beast strat with Serpent-Hunter is actually really complicated in my experience. So this might take me a couple tries. I've never actually done it on a live run this way. I've practiced it, but I'm not like super familiar with it. So we'll see how this goes. But you need 79 base strength, and the rest we're gonna just put into endurance. Dang, that's a lot actually. That's actually great. Yeah, we'll just do all endurance, because endurance is really tight. So we're gonna do 79 base strength, endurance, and then yeah, you do want RTSR set up for this fight. And I put the seal in the short sword with Golden Vow in the same hand here, just for like buffing. It just helps with buffing in between the two phases. So let's import a save state. I'm gonna turn off that poise thing as well. Alright, Serpent-Hunter Radabeast. Let me turn off in-game poise. Okay. Okay. Oh, and so yeah, I forgot to do something. If on this fight we want... Oh no, we don't actually. Oh yes, we do. Never mind. Never mind. We need to change our physic. So if you're doing Serpent-Hunter, we need to change the physic to strength. So the strength tier, our Radagon Source Seal and our Great Rune gives us 99 strength. So that's really important. Alright, so dropping the item makes it auto-save, by the way. That's why I'm doing this. I'm just replacing that save state now that I have the right physics set up. So yeah, normally you'd set up RTSR here. I'm just using the tool for now. But yeah, so on this one with physic first, Golden Vow, mana, Flame grant me strength. Now this is actually really complex, so you need to buffer a sprint here. So I have sprint buffered right now, and I'm gonna keep it buffered while I skip the cutscene. And then we need to run to like almost a specific spot on the ground. It's like this bush. And start up the R2 like as soon as we can. All right, that's perfect. Alright, so there's your scripted Radagon. This part's harder, I'd say. Fuck, I didn't do it right. I didn't manage stamina well enough there. So you just bone there, I suppose. Stamina is really, really tight on the scripted Radagon Elden Beast. So all right, so let me walk you through this. Essentially what we need to do is deal 4,002 damage at the start of the fight before he can attack. And if we do that, it'll force him into a phase transition. Now it's really, really, really tight on timing. If you're a little late, he can just stomp you and you're dead. So it's really, really, really important to learn this, and you have to buffer the sprint. So basically you need to hit him as soon as the tip of your Serpent-Hunter will reach him, essentially. So here I'm hitting Y, and now I have sprint buffered and I'm holding forward. And then as soon as I can skip the cutscene, I'm going to. And I'm gonna like run to this bush basically. So there's 2008, 2008. Here you just wait till he sits up a little bit and then start up your charge there too. I've got a sprint buffered again. Charge R2. Charge R2. This is really important here, so I want to have the right amount of stamina. There we go. Barely got it. It's really tight on timing, guys. So yeah, that's Serpent-Hunter. I mean, it's really, 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 it's a really hard script to execute. Like, I needed to be even better on stamina there. The one thing that you could do to maybe make it a little bit better is to replace your Jar Shard with the Turtle Talisman, which is like, you just need one Stone Sword key to go grab that. It's not like that hard to get. That could help that a little bit. So that's Serpent-Hunter. That's Serpent-Hunter any percent. So I would say that, like, yes, Radagon's scripted and Elden Beast is scripted, but it's very difficult to pull off in that fashion. Like, if you're practicing it and you're finding that Radagon is doing other attacks other than, like, the glowing phase transition stomp, that means you're not quick enough when you run in to do, like, the double charged R2. It's like almost frame specific. I've done it a few times, so I kind of know what to do, but it's very hard. And then I think Elden Beast is almost harder with, like, the stamina management. Like, I have 30 base stamina, and it was like super tight on stamina there, so I barely got that R1 off to stagger him when he swam away. And he can also, instead of swimming away, he can do needles, but in that case he's like close to you, so you can just R1 him out of the needles before they actually take off. But yeah, so let's 209. I mean that's segmented or whatever, but not too bad. We're gonna do. Now I'm going to load Ashen Capital, and we're going to go through and do the end of the game with the Starfist, which is totally viable. I think it makes the end of the game even easier. So at this point, we haven't leveled yet. We need to, like, go grab some stuff. So one of the things we need to grab is the bell bearings to buy the stuff we need. We already grabbed a lot of the stuff during setup. So if you do the setup the same way, if you plan on doing this and you do the setup the same way I did it, then this is the point when you could do all this stuff. Just to save yourself some time, because you don't really need Starfist until now. In fact, I would argue Serpent-Hunter is better than Starfist up until this point. Like, it's better on Fire Giant, it's better on Godskin Duo, it's better on Maliketh, in my opinion, just because it's easier to hit him. So anyway, we're just, we're going down here. I think it's called, like, the Sealed Tunnel. Or Altus Tunnel. Sealed Altus Tunnel. Did it even say what it's called yet? So Gambit, oh, Sealed Tunnel, here we go. Jump this gap. Kill this guy. Come on. Here's our bell bearing. And we can't warp out of here, so we just have to leave. But, I mean, with Gambit, it's like, you just have to kill that one guy. He can see you. But... okay. Now we're gonna go to Zamar Ruins. We grabbed this after we rode the rolled lift or whatever. The grand... I forget what it's called. So just Gambit somewhere before you, like, ride away. This is, like, such a minor detour to make the end of the game easier that I think it's, like, super worth it, but... it's totally up to you guys. Kind of right over here. I just jump off my horse here. Just so I can get down this tunnel. Like, the horse doesn't like to fit down this one for some reason, so... Alright, so... and then Godskin Duo gives us our other bell bearing, so now we just go to Round Table. Maybe I'm forgetting one other thing. We'll find out here in a second. But we have plenty of runes after Maliketh. You could do Gideon with Serpent-Hunter if you want, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we need 12 number 3s, 12 number 4s, 12 number 5s, 12 number 6s, 10 number 7s, because I picked up some earlier, and 11 number 8s. I picked up one in Farum Azula, I think. Or maybe you only need 10 if you pick up the one in Farum, I can't remember. And we even have the Ancient. Did I show you guys how to pick up the Ancient Dragon one? Oh, that's the other one. You really don't need to go to plus 25, but I'll do it, why not? So... I'll show you guys how to pick up the plus... if you really want the plus 25, like if you really want the extra damage, you can do this as well, so... where are we going? Yeah, head west from the grace that we took right before Fire Giant. We go up and around these like big frozen like giants. Gambit once here. There's two birds up here, you just don't want them to aggro. And then here's your plus 25. Back to Round Table. I knew I forgot something. Alright, so we haven't leveled or anything yet, so we still need to do that, and I think our physics actually going to stay the same, so... here we go, Starfist. We have enough number 1s and number 2s that we picked up, and then we bought all the 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, and 8s, pretty much. Alright, so now we have plus 25 Starfist, and we want to put on... we picked up RKR in Volcano Manor, and we can make it heavy, which changes the strength scaling to A, since we picked up that one thing in Stormveil. So, now we can level up. So, I think we're just going to dump strength still, but... and our physics should be the same. Where's Ashen Capital? Did I pass it? Hello? Did I forget to grab the Grace? I bet I forgot to grab the Grace, didn't I? Okay. Wait, how do I get there? Shit. I should have grabbed the Grace, huh? I can get back in there, but I have to run really far because I don't think I grabbed any Graces. I didn't grab the one on the bridge after Draconic Tree Sentinel. Alright, well, that's how you do it. I'm gonna do something else here. So I'll just load the Ashen Capital thing and we'll do it again. Well, not like fully, I guess, but yeah, make sure you light this, apparently. That's very important. So in this situation, we can do two. No item found. All right, look up what that's called really quick. Smithing Stone Miner's Bell Bearing. Okay, so there's a dash. And Miner's Bell Bearing 2. What? Smithing Stone Miner's Bell Bearing. Oh. Very specific. Okay, so it has brackets around it. And then 3 is the other one we need. And then we need Ancient Dragon Smithing. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Here we go. Okay. So now we have the grace, we have the stuff we just picked up, and we'll just upgrade it really quick. I just want my runes to be the same. Not that it matters so much for you guys, but however, we can show off some stuff we can do with the tool there. Oh, I gotta like turn in the shit. I could just drop myself a plus 25 heavy Starfist with RKR on it, but I want my runes to be like kind of the same, so. Okay, so 12 of these, 12 of these, 12 of these, 12 of these, 10 of these, 11 of these. Okay. Knew I forgot something. So ideally this wouldn't take too much time to do, right? Couple of pit stops and a trip to Round Table to buy all this shit. And I'll show you why it's worth it here in a second. Versus Serpent-Hunter. Alright, so now we should be able to go to Ashen Capital. There it is. Alright, so our physics stays the same for Maliketh. That has stun and charge in it. We probably don't need it for Gideon. I didn't level. That's fine. We don't need to level. We'll level. I don't know. I don't even know if we'll level till after Horaloo, actually. We could. It doesn't really matter. What's our base? We're a 71 base. That's so much. And I guess we could go to like 89 with the fists. Since we're not gonna have the strength not tier on. I don't know, like stamina is not gonna be nearly as tight, so I will make a save state here because I don't know what's going to happen really with this fight without like the full setup. So here's what I would do in this situation, like import save state, and we'll name it like, I don't know, 11A Fist Gideon or something. Okay. So I'm gonna do this without physic and see if it works the same way, like if we can do it the same way as Serpent-Hunter where we do one RKR setup for both bosses.
To become Elden Lord. What a sad state of affairs. And your your spirit, but alas, none shall take the throne. Queen Maliketh's high hope.
Yeah, that'll work the same way, and that's so free, it's insane. 2 shots.
A tarnished cannot become a lord. Not even you.
I will put glint blades on for Lou just to see, like, if it works, if we need to do that or not.
God.
Be careful not to fall off of this branch. I've heard of bad things happening on live runs. So yeah, so if we set up our TSR right before Gideon, we don't need to use our physic for him, and so then we can come up into this fight like kind of ready to go. And then I will have Glint. I don't think we're gonna need him, honestly. We'll see how it goes, but I'll set up a save state here as well. So here we can do like 12 fists. Godfrey. Maybe should we do like 12A? Here we go. Okay. So I guess I physic last. I should do this last actually. Here we go. This damage is going to be absolutely brutal. And then with Starfish, you can actually do a charged R2 on this opener. Oh, fuck. Okay, let's try that again. I did a jump R2 there because you can get like a double hit on him, but you have to be like really, really, really early for it to be safe. And I didn't, I was late, and so I maybe could have sprinted that. I wasn't sprinting. Let's try it again. My save state not take? Here we go. I didn't load it, I guess. Alright, let's try this again. That was a shitload of damage. I'm just gonna do jump R1s. We'll just be safe about it. We don't have to be like super aggressive with this setup. Insane damage. I kind of fucked up there too. Nice whiff. Oh, that didn't kill him. All right, well I whiffed there. Let's try this one more time. I fucked up so hard there switching for the glint blades and stuff. Alright, let's try it again. Did I even load it? Yeah, I did. I think we can stun him in 3 hits, maybe. Maybe with the stun? I don't know, let's see. Maybe not. Whiff. Nice whiff. Oh, that didn't kill him. I'm doing bad stamina management here, so let me I can't remember exactly what Doom did stamina. I think Doom actually fights him in the magma pool in phase 1. He like staggers him out of it or something. Hey, Dalton. All right, let's try it again. Praise the sun. Okay, I get you. Alright, that's pretty good. So, I mean, you're kind of like... You don't really have to worry about poise buildup in phase 2 with this setup because you just do so much damage with the Starfist, like with RKR especially. So, it's really nice that you don't have to worry about the poise buildup in phase 2. That makes that fight really, really nice. But... It will take some practice. Like, even I had to learn it there a little bit on the fly. So here, let me think about this. I think I want to flesh, actually. Yeah, that way I can get mana back. Okay, yeah. Okay, so there's Godfrey. You'll have to like learn his moveset a little bit and figure out what's safe. But essentially, the difference between this and Serpent-Hunter is that we can do more charged R2s on some of the strafes. And we can, when we put him into phase 2, we're just gonna do so much damage at the start of phase 2 that it doesn't matter if we poise break him. So that's like the main advantage. You will have to learn his moveset more and stuff like that, but and then the physic I think actually stays the same here. So if you go like 85 strength, let's just do that because we don't have the strength here in our physics. So we're at 95 strength right now. And then I think that, like Gideon's an easy 2-shot. Godfrey's gonna be, I would say slightly easier with Starfist. Not like, you can get really aggressive with him too and make him like kind of a non-issue, but I would say Starfist is definitely better. All right, so we're gonna do one more save state here. Let's see, Radabeast, or Fist Radabeast. So I got all our save states set up here. We have Red Feather on. Alright, so let's do this. Let's see what happens if we go up and do one RKR CR2. Because I think if you do it before the gate, it disappears before you get there. There's our 4,000 damage. Oh, hang on a second. Doom does something else here. I remember what he does now. There's a way to like prevent him from doing any attacks, and I can't remember if he does RKR at the start or not. That's the one part I'm not sure about. So we'll figure it out here. Maybe if we do it right before the door, we can keep it. It lasts 12 seconds. Let's see. I bet it's really, really tight on timing. Oh, fuck. I couldn't get another RKR. I thought I could if I did that. that's pretty insanely easy on Elden Beast. I kind of fucked up that script. Let's do it one more time. So an RKR CR2 at the start will... It wears off before we get in there, it looked like, so... but it looks like we can just do a triple charge R2 to start the fight, and that staggers him, and then we can like RKR the riposte or something. This might take some playing around with, but... Also, the flesh didn't seem to matter. Like, I didn't have enough time to RKR. Oh, maybe I don't need to drink mana, though. That's probably what I want to do. Okay, I think I got this. Barely enough time to do that, I think. I think Doom would have killed him by there. This doesn't seem like the best. Alright, this is probably better. I think Radagon could be better. That's pretty good. I think we could kill Radagon better, but... Alright, there it is. So, you've got two options there. You've got Serpent-Hunter the full way, with like a very tight like Radagon Elden Beast script at the end, and then you've got the Starfist ending, which I think is a bit easier, to be honest, so... Alright. So, yep, there's our tool. Here's our save organizer. Now you have like all the save states set up. So yeah, this is 1.08 patch, Elden Ring Serpent-Hunter tutorial, and then I just at the request of a fellow runner and friend, I showed like the Starfish strats, and most importantly, like how to like get all the materials and all the setup for that, because it definitely makes the end game a bit easier. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'm gonna put this on YouTube, so if you guys are watching on YouTube, if you have any questions, leave a comment or like hit me up in Team Hitless Discord or something like that. Some of this stuff needs like takes like quite a lot of practice, like knowing their movesets. I know I didn't show a ton of that or like teach a ton of that, because a lot of the time it's not like super necessary. Like I showed you guys how to bait Maliketh's opener and like just win the fight with that great opener, but he can do other stuff. But if he does do other stuff, you can just wait for that attack, so you can just kind of get back into rhythm, no problem. But yeah, that'll be my first crack at like a full tutorial. So hopefully it's helpful. And hopefully a lot of these strats don't get patched out or like nerfed, right? Like I'd be worried about Glint Blades and Starfist. I think Serpent-Hunter is probably safe. The problem is if they nerf Glint Blades, then some of these strats will need like refined. But I think a lot of this stuff, especially like the way you do setup, all that stuff, like I feel like our setup was very efficient. Like weren't we at Volcano Manor? We were at Volcano Manor going to Round Table at like the 35-minute mark or something. I think that's like pretty fast for setup. And that was actually grabbing like extra smithing stones that you wouldn't need if you were doing Serpent-Hunter only. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for the tutorial. I'll highlight it on my Twitch channel and I'll post it to... or upload it on YouTube. So yeah, hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, hit me up. And yeah, now we'll get into this giveaway situation and close these out.